I'm gonna take my things and go. You're just a fucking little girl with such beautiful eyes. Behind those eyes, you're just a pretty full of disguise. Tell me you, oh, what you gonna do when you'll be left with nothing else to do? Who you gonna turn to and capture with your lies? The day will come, you can count on me to be there when you cry, oh little girl. You would have done if I were you, or would you stand there and let me fall innocent you? Just to get a taste of what you seem to fail at giving. Your mind is
We're finally here. Another season of the GSL CODES Finals. And what a finals we have, Bartosis.
Jesus, stop talking over me. Gary, you be quiet. It's time for us to talk. All right. So, guys, this is CODES Season 3 Finals, and it is going to be epic here tonight. We have Maru once again going for his 5th GSL championship. The GOAT all-time of GSL, looking to make a milestone that I don't think has any chance of ever being repeated.
But the person who stands in his way is a player who's revolutionizing Zerg right now. No, it's not Dark. No, it's not Rogue. Instead, here we are with RagnaroK coming into this. He was an unlikely finalist, someone I think a lot of us were not expecting to have coming in. But if he can take this, it would be insane. It would change the whole dynamic of how we see Zerg. By the way, guys, before we go any further, if you're in the studio, if you're listening to us right now with the headsets on, hang on to your ticket. There are giveaways at the end of the show. We got all sorts of cool stuff we're handing out, so do not throw that out.
Yeah, that is a lot of giveaways here today, and it is a packed studio. Every single ticket sold out.
Right.
It is absolutely insane in here already. People are hyped. I see signs all over the place because, you know, you can't really write a better storyline than this, right? Someone who has been a pro gamer for more than 10 years, finally making his first finals, going up against the greatest ever for
That's
Terran.
right. You know, we said this last season, but it's true here, as we've had a lot of good GSL seasons this year, but no matter who wins here, it is going to change history. If Maru can take a 5th GSL, he will cement himself a place in GSL history that nobody has ever done. No one may ever get there as long as GSL is around. However, if RagnaroK could come in here and pull this off, it would be one of the greatest upsets in GSL history.
Yeah, that would be a huge one if he is able to take it home and deny Maru once again getting that G5L trophy, something that only one other player has ever come close to before being MVP, right? Like, that would be gigantic, but I think Maru, obviously a lot of people are looking at him as a favorite coming in. He is the greatest Terran of all time. He might be the greatest player of all time, and certainly the most successful GSL player that we have ever seen and probably ever will.
Yeah, and he's done it over a very, very long period of time. Coming in and out of winning GSL finals many times before, being in the finals but not quite making it. But yeah, I think any reasonable, rational person would look at this and say, he has to be the favorite coming into this. Again, though, RagnaroK, I think nobody expected him to get this far. I don't even know if RagnaroK really was anticipating getting all the way to the finals, and he went through a lot of extremely strong opponents.
Oh, he certainly did. Like, the guy didn't lose any matches. He's actually the top performer so far this season, and that's an amazing thing to see. Now, one thing to mention is that RagnaroK has been doing better and better and better, right? Like, I mean, we've known him for a long time. We've always looked at him as kind of a cheeser and everything, and he's still pretty aggressive. But he made top 6 every single season this year. So he has been coming for this.
We've been saying it's been unlikely every time, but here he is again, further than he's ever been before. We saw the predictions down below. Favored for Maru, but still a surprising amount of people coming in here for support of RagnaroK. Guys, we're about to get this finals going. Stay tuned. It's going to be an amazing match. We're now moments away from bringing out our two players. Again, it's been one of the craziest seasons of GSL so far here. And the first player we're bringing out, you know, he was always one of the underdogs. He was always in the background compared to the other players, compared to the Zergs. But here he is. He's finally gotten this far.
This is a dream come true for him. A lot of hard work has led to this moment, and he should not be underestimated.
And if he can't make it here in this finals tonight, he might not make it back. So this is the peak of his career, but also his biggest challenge yet. And here he is now with a different style from the other Zergs, one that he's continued to improve. It's really been his own take on the matchup, and that's saying a lot. You know, a lot of the other Zergs out here in Korea, they really approach it much more kind of in the rogue school of thought here. But RagnaroK's done it. He's done a lot of aggression early on. He's mixed in some cheeses, but he's still managed to do the balancing act of a macro game. Let's see how he does against the best Terran ever in the GSL.
That's right. This guy has won 4 GSL. He has the record for GSL Code S victories. He has the record for GSL finals that he's made it to. He is by far the strongest Terran ever to have played the game. Looking for that G5L trophy, it's Maru.
And if he can actually take this finals and overcome RagnaroK, he will do something that's never been done. Think of all the GSLs we've ever had. It's been dozens, Artosis.
Oh, dude, it's been so many.
Maru has taken 4 of them. If he can get that 5th, he will get that G5L trophy. And it will be a major moment in StarCraft history and esports history in a game. And again, in a game as aged as this one, that is truly an incredible feat.
It really, really is. It's been 12 years of GSL. It's been well over 4,000 matches. It's been over 50 seasons of GSL. It's absurd when you look at the numbers, and no one has been able to accomplish what Maru is going for tonight.
The question now is, can RagnaroK stop him? Again, I think a lot of people seeing this as maybe a possible one-sided match. Before we do any more of that, let's go to the interview now, though.
All right, we're going to have an interview with the 2 finalists. RagnaroK, you must be really nervous right now. You must be shaking. It's taken you 10 years to come to the final stage of GSL. And your opponent is none other than Maru himself. He's the living legend of GSL. He is a phenomenal player. Are you not scared of him today? I'm not scared of him today. I'm not intimidated by him. Amazing micro, amazing mind games, and he's able to exploit all the opponent's weaknesses. However, when you used to play against Maru in the past, every single match you lost to him. All the 10 offline matches, you have lost every single one of them. It's been a loss after a loss. But now, RagnaroK, you're a different player. You've reinvented yourself. And how are you right now and the past RagnaroK different? I mean, like a baby and an adult, I say. Then RagnaroK, the way you see it, and Maru has been a wall that's been unable to overcome for the past years, but now, how do you look at him? I mean, in the past, Maru used to be a scary player, but now, I feel like as long as I remain poised, as I maintain my composure, I can beat him. Maru, this is your 8th GSL Finals. You have advanced to the most GSL finals in GSL history. However, there are 4 GSL badges on your on-site game uniform, but the badges are so old. They're rusty now. You haven't had a new badge for 3.5 years. It's because you came runner-up 3 times after your 4th consecutive GSL victory. 3 runner-ups in a row, Maru. And now you are challenging the G5L for the 4th time today. And there's been so many players that's been eliminated by you. And RagnaroK is one of them. And he's standing here on this very stage as your opponent in the finals. How do you feel about today's match, Maru? Can you win today? I mean, you know, I lost. I came runner-up because the finalists have been good in the past. But today's finalist, he's pretty much a walkover player. I mean, he used to baby RagnaroK, but now he is a tiger RagnaroK Maru. He has transformed. He is confident today. I mean, I saw all of the matches, but the way I see it, it's all the same. It's no different to the past. So do you predict an overwhelming score today? Yeah, I think it's going to be an easy win. Then RagnaroK. RagnaroK. Now you have to overcome Maru. You've lost to him countless times in history. And you can, this is your chance to become the best player in GSL. Can you make it happen today? You know, I feel like the reason why I lost till now is for this very moment. I think if I win today, it's going to be an amazing narrative to GSL. And RagnaroK, will he be able to become the protagonist of this GSL narrative? And you're looking like you're in the best form in your career. So anything else you want to say to Maru before we begin the match? I mean, I practiced so much in preparation for today's match. I really want to win in the finals. I'm really having high expectations of what Maru's going to bring on the table today. And Maru, RagnaroK says he's watched you practice a lot. So before we get into the match, anything you want to say to RagnaroK and your resolution? I mean, I've had four GSL titles under my belt, and today it's going to be my 5th. Then a word to RagnaroK, please, Maru. Oh, RagnaroK, you came all the way here for a runner-up title. Well, I hope you earned 12,000 USD at the end of the day. Alright, all that's left is the GSL Finals for Season 3. Every match has been fantastic this season. What narrative will we be able to get to see today? We'll kick off the match now.
대기로 세운 이병렬 프로토스의 암흑기를 깨고 김준호의 시대에 엽니다.
Now waited. Yeah, RagnaroK is desperate. Look at these splits by
Oh, GG.
and nice C-Shang shot and GG.
전태현 선수 잡아내면서
펴서 우르손이 끊기면
생애 최초로 16강에 올라갑니다.
그냥 뭐 C에서 B급적으로 본 것 같아요. 당연히 이미지는 선수들이 저를 만나면은 뭐 꽁승이다 마인드였던 것 같아요.
He flies in. Now the night is going to be transfused. It's just not clear. And this is this switch coming down here. That is it. GG. RagnaroK is knocked unreal.
욕 많이 먹었죠. 그때 같은 경우는 말 그대로 이제 못하는 선수였기 때문에 이기려면 그렇게 할 수밖에 없긴 했어요.
싸워줄 준비를 했었는데
Going out.
그리고 방송 경기에 대한 그런 공포증이나 아니면 내가 무조건 이겨야겠다 이런 간절함이 너무 컸던 것 같아요. 저희 아빠죠. 계속 챙겨보시면서 좋아하시더라고요. 그래서 더 동기부여가 된 것 같아요.
신희원 선수 4전 전승으로 4강 진출. 결승 가는 문 열립니까? GSL 코드스 결승 진출.
굉장히 어색해요. 굉장히 어색해가지고 어떤 말을 할지 잘 모르겠어요. 왠지 이번 연도에는 갈 수 있지 않을까라는 생각을 했는데 그러니까 이번 연도 마지막이잖아요. 그래서 더 뜻깊은 것 같아요.
이게 위험한 더 되고 있죠.
이 경기도 진짜 이걸 잡아요.
이경기도 진실. 야구 역사의 시작이자 기적입니다. 자연스러워서 좀 비행기 도고 우선수가 되면 안 됩니다.
그 역사의 조성도 선수는 다연성 우승한 대기록을.
첫 우승이 제일 좋았었고 지금도 많이 생각나고 그때 엄청 하고 싶어 했거든요. 너무 좋았어요. 그때.
전태야 거의 승기 잡은 것 같은데요. 우승하기 직전입니다.
진짜.
안 좋았던 건 저번 결승. 많이 힘들어했어가지고 기억이 별로 안 좋아요. 발렌시아 때는 코로나 걸려가지고 그때 엄청 힘들었거든요. 그래서 좋고 GSL 결승 때도 제가 그때 멘탈이 좀 안 좋았어요. TSL은 그냥 제가 졌어요. 결승만 가면 제가 이상해지더라고요. 그냥 다 실력으로 졌죠.
조성주 복수의 화신이 돼서 성공하겠는데요.
진짜. 선수는 매 경기가 기록이에요.
솔직히 결승 때도 이렇게 했으면 이겼을 것 같아가지고 좀 많이 아쉬워요.
신이번 선수 입장에서는 그러니까 벽을 느낄 수밖에 없는 상황이에요.
성주가 제 앞길을 막았다기보다는 제가 못한 거였고 그래서 그렇게 막 악감정이 있거나 성주를 싫어하거나 그러진 않아요.
희범이 형이랑 할 때요? 그때 뭐라도 이길 것 같아가지고 되게 편하게 했었어요.
8강 때 그때 이제 좀 강렬하게 남은 게 이거 너무 잘한다 이거는. 제가 못 따라가겠다. 그게 아직까지 남아있어요. 그 기분이.
기억나는 경기요? 솔직히 없는데요? 높은 데서 만난 게 아니라가지고
커리어가 이제 상대 선수에 비해서 한참 부족하지만 그래도 최근 기세는 훨씬 더 잘한다고 생각을 하거든요.
기세요? 한 게 없는데 뭐 기세가 있을까요?
많이 하기도 하고 많이 지기도 했기 때문에 그래서 편하게 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
중시전에서 만났을 때는 한 번도 위기가 없었던 것 같아가지고 되게 편안합니다.
성주 안녕.
상대가 형이라서 너무 기분이 좋네.
기분 좋을만 하지 나랑 하니까.
솔직히 8번째 결승인데 8번째 상대 중에 제일 쉬운 것 같아.
나도 그렇게 생각하고 있고 하지만 이제 너가 생각한 나는 없어졌기 때문에 다를 거라고 생각해.
형은 내가 올라와가지고 기분이 별로 안 좋을 것 같네.
아니야 오히려 너를 이기면 더 돋보이기 때문에 좋아.
근데 이번에는 준우승하면은 진짜 게임하기 싫을 것 같아가지고 열심히 할 거야.
뭐 너가 준영 상대로 되게 좋았지만 결승에서 압도당했듯이 나한테도 그렇게 될 거라 생각해.
준호 형은 잘한다고 생각하는데 주범 형은 잘한다고 생각한 적이 한 번도 없어가지고 너무 쉬울 것 같아.
원래 이 정도 했으면은 못할 때도 됐는데 계속 잘해가지고 너무 얄밉고 좀 작작 좀 왔으면 좋겠다.
우승했으면은 그런 소리 들을만 한데 준우승만 해가지고 아직 멀은 거.
내가 지금까지 당한 거 한 번에 다 복수해줄게.
이때까지 나랑 했을 때 다 졌으니까 이번에도 편하게 즐기다가 준우승 팻말 갖고 가면 될 것 같아요.
준우승도 잘한 거지만 만약에 이제 뭐 10년 후에 내가 프로게이머를 했을 때 기록이 남잖아요. 그래서 간절한 것 같아.
아 이번엔 진짜 간절할 것 같아요. 준우승하고 옆에 서 있는 게 너무 힘들거든요. 그래서 아 이번엔 그런 기분 또 느끼고 싶지 않아요.
10년 만에 처음 왔는데 진짜 많은 분들이 응원을 해주셨어요. 너무나 감사드리고 그리고 그거에 대해 꼭 보답을 하고 싶다라고 생각을 했었는데 이번 연도부터 점점 이제 좋은 모습 보여드리고 있고 그리고 결승까지 왔기 때문에 열심히 해서 이기도록 하겠습니다.
저번 시즌 결승 경기력이 너무 안 좋았어가지고 이번에는 저번 시즌보다 더 열심히 준비해 올 테니까 많은 응원 부탁드립니다.
All right, we are moments away from getting into this best of 7 and finding out who will be the GSL Season 3 finalist, or champion, excuse me. What an insane story these two players have had here.
I love that little interview that we just had as well.
I love that.
It's just so funny to see where Maru is just like, I have literally never even thought of you as good. This is going to be easy, or the easiest out of the 8 that I've had to play. I mean, those are some strong words.
Oh, it's kind of crazy to see how confident Maru is, but there is a very good point to make here with the fact that Maru has not had the same kind of momentum as RagnaroK. He's gotten very close to getting that G5L trophy so many times before, but hasn't quite made it.
That's right. It's something that if he loses again, then suddenly it's 4 wins followed by 4 losses.
Right.
Okay, in the finals. And that becomes a little bit streakish. Remember, this happened to Sue already, where if you start getting too many, you might lose your confidence.
Now, coming into this here for RagnaroK, I got to just point out, just looking at him on stage, he had this kind of confidence that I wasn't really used to seeing him have in past GSLs. And that's saying a lot because Maru, he's really a natural on the final stage, not just here, but anywhere that you see him in the entire world, that he just knows kind of how to carry himself. He's not nervous or anything, but I feel like RagnaroK's really built that confidence up going forward.
Yeah, he really, really has. He's done so well this season. I could see in the interview as well that he was, he realizes that he really hasn't accomplished anything next to Maru, and Maru's probably looking down upon him, but he's like, you know what, I'm not the same player. And I have to agree, he's not the same player. He's no longer just cheeses and just all-ins. He has really a very, very good range. He's a very decisive Zerg player. He's shown great macro games. So I think that this is not as easy as everyone except maybe RagnaroK is thinking about.
Now, it's going to be, I think, especially with the first 2 games, important to see, obviously not just who wins, but how does RagnaroK play? How does he size up against Maru? Because Maru against the best Zergs, it goes one of 2 ways. Either it's a very close and epic game, or Maru takes them out very quickly.
That's
we really don't have Zergs to kill Maru off right away.
It's completely rare. It is super, super rare. You're definitely right about that. So I think you're right. It's very likely that if RagnaroK's going to end up winning games here, I mean, how do you kill Maru early? He's got the best micro and the best macro, the best game sense. It's very difficult. And, of course, Maru is the king of that late game, of that sitting there and making you waste yourself against him. So it's a tough one. How do you even prepare for an opponent like this as RagnaroK?
This is all-time GSL finals, just a white block.
Yeah.
Is that because he hasn't had any? That's an odd way to put it, but okay.
That is an absolute terrible way.
This looks like an unfinished graphic, but okay.
Well, I think it probably has to do with they had to put something there for Maru. So
Yeah,
like, well, what do we put for RagnaroK? Like, this is literally his first time.
Now, that being said, RagnaroK's coming to this with some very successful aggression.
Yes.
And, it's not the most fancy aggression either. He just sort of powers up, runs in, and whether or not that does any damage, he's at least controlled the tempo of the game. And I think that's a smart way to play, not just against Maru, but against Terrans in general that have been doing a little bit of corner cutting, have been trying to play.
Sure.
Eke out as much of an edge as possible to just come in there with a very straightforward attack and at least level them or at least make them defend it. There's something to that with RagnaroK, and that's something we want to be watching for as well.
Yeah, but, you know, watching for it against this guy, like, look at this record that we just saw on the screen. You can see that's why they needed such a large white block, because he's just had so many finals against literally the greatest players ever. Like, it's like Classic and CEST from Protoss. It's like Rogue over in the Zerg category. TY, he's played twice in finals. Are you kidding me? Like, Maru's the best, man. There is not another player like him.
We're ready to go into this match, guys. Our map lineup: Moondance, Inside and Out, Waterfall, Cosmic Sapphire, Stargazers, Tropical Sacrifice, and Data Sea for our maps. Again, I think this is either going to be a very close back and forth or a one-sided victory for Maru. Let's see what happens as we go into Game 1 on Moondance. RagnaroK vs. Maru, the GSL Season 3 Finals starts now.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, tasteless!
Oh, it's a depot
Wow,
instead.
hold me tasteless is crazy. Oh no, it's not at all. It's just a wall.
Yeah.
Maybe a command center first with a forward wall or something. I'm not sure. It could
Yeah,
be one of
let's
these.
see.
Remember, there were some like 3 racks Reaper plays where you'd wall the front as well, back in the old days. This is where I show that I'm too excited for this final. So I say the 12 things that this could be right now. Like, well, I've seen a lot of games, guys. We've casted over 4,000 GSL matches, and here's all the things that can happen with a wall at that position.
Well, it's funny, too, because I think even the Observer jumped the gun, right?
Yeah.
When the SCV came out. We've seen Maru proxy rack so many times before. And this is an interesting, honestly, kind of, I mean, we've seen the build before, not quite in this order and placement, but it is a wall in on the low ground, but 2 racks is put down here, so probably some Reaper pressure coming.
Yeah, by the way, that record they just showed, 22-3, Maru is offline against RagnaroK.
Yeah. But
Oh,
in
man.
some ways, I feel like those numbers might not be representative of what we're going to have coming into this.
Of course. Maru's
No,
been on top of the world for many, many years.
Yeah, and I do think RagnaroK does have that momentum behind him.
Now, one thing to mention here is, yeah, Maru did this little wall in and does have 2 racks Reaper coming. RagnaroK went for a pool first. So he's, like, I feel like you're already seeing some of his prep. And this, I think, will actually make Maru's build a little bit stronger, the fact that he's going 2 racks Reaper. But it's like RagnaroK is kind of ready for the shenanigans we're used to.
Yeah, look at
look
that.
at
All the
that.
signatures, man. Even my crappy one over there in the top
Yeah,
right.
mine too.
I signed mine with a crayon.
It's the only thing you know how to write with Tasteless.
That's right. I got to hold
Tasteless
it.
has to hold things with a fist.
Hand-fisted, yes.
I like how we both know the dumb joke we have to make about you.
Well, we made it before. We never signed anything. So he made the 2 racks, but because of the wall, and he can expand very quickly, so this isn't any kind of committed aggression here. Instead, you can expand, and one thing I want to point out, because this is probably going to be a factor, you know, if whether or not it happens, it will be something the Zerg has to consider here. But the fact that you can double expand on this map in the back.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
a good-
taking
that's a
one
good
base,
point.
but he could easily take another one.
Yeah, that's. I like that, and the fact that he's able to put this pressure. Look, he's already got a drone. 2 drones go down, and he's keeping enough damage here on this spine that you never know. Yeah, look at that, cancels it and has to remake. Oh my
Now,
God, Tasteless.
You know, normally we don't have that many drone kills early on, but getting 3 out of the gate is pretty good. Keep in mind, you know, it could be tense right at the start of a finals, and a lot of times these big interactions can, I'm sorry, I should say these little interactions can telegraph really the big picture of the game here going forward.
Yeah, like Maru's already playing very, very well here. I love his opener. The fact that he's already gotten 3 drones and he killed that spine that RagnaroK was trying to save a drone with. Oh my God. Comes in for more damage, and he's double expanding behind it, behind a very thick wall. It feels like Game 1 is already heavily Maru favored.
I got to agree. And I like the ideas that Maru is showing us here. The fact that he is going to double expand after a little bit of pressure here. He can basically match the Zerg, which, you know, you never want to be matched if you're Zerg. You want to be ahead. And I think this should lead up to a strong, at least an opportunity to have a strong push on the 3rd base. I'm sorry, the 4th base here for the Zerg.
Look at this. He's even forcing his way up with the 3 Reapers. Nothing too much to end up scouting there. This Queens come up. Just constant Marine production. He does have a tech lab, so maybe a Banshee going to be coming out as well, which, like, the Banshee like watching this plan come together, right? What's the only thing that might be scary right now? Some sort of roach attack? And then he's like, well, we're going to get a Banshee as well. And so it's like, okay, so Maru, you're completely invincible is what you're saying, and you're doing damage to him, and you're double expanding?
And he might not be able to scout it. RagnaroK won't be.
Oh, boy.
He just is out of vision range there. And we know that RagnaroK has, you know, in the past gone for roach pressure like that before. So Maru, you know, coming in here with a very mapped out strategy, I think, on the map for RagnaroK specifically. And the execution so far is extremely good as well.
It really is. You can tell that he has prepped quite a bit for this. He mentioned that in the interview that he is going to prep much more for this series than he did for the finals last season, right? Even though he respects RagnaroK less as a player. So this is like a pretty all-encompassing plan we see from him. It looks super, super strong. And here's the thing, right? Like some damages happen to RagnaroK and Maru's position looks great. Okay, we've talked about that through and through. Now, if RagnaroK can make this into a game, even if he loses this, if he can make this type of start into a decent game, we're going to have a close series.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I mean, if he can actually hang with, of all people, Maru, given the circumstances that started out over here, that's going to be crazy. But the abuse is going to continue on here, Artosis. We have our third drone kill from the Banshee. The cloak activates at the moment, the exact moment it needed to turn on here. And the body count is going to start piling up here. Maru is not missing a beat. And, you know, the Spore is almost done, but honestly, the Banshee got nearly as many kills as if the drones were never moved at all.
Just crazy.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Taking out the combat shields. You know, one thing about having the barracks is out there like that, especially if you spawn in the top left, is that your the add-ons are like sticking out.
Yeah.
And so RagnaroK punishes that. Now, interrupting the combat shields on the 3-base push is a big deal.
It's a very nice pickoff for sure, for sure. But then I look at everything Maru has done, the amount of damage he has dealt so far, the amount of drones. He's killed like 11 drones already, and he's lost almost nothing. It's kind of crazy. Like, it looks fantastic for him right now. But here we see what RagnaroK is planning. He's going to go Lingbane Hydra, which, I mean, if you can get that actually going, it's a very good defensive comp.
Oh, he's going to come down here. He's trying to target that. Now, there might barely be enough for RagnaroK to fend this off. He's controlled the Queens extremely well.
Yeah, he has.
There's been a double stim over here, so the healing's not going to come in that fast, not with 2 medevacs, and RagnaroK does deflect the attack.
That was a very solid defense, as you mentioned. Like, the Queen micro was on point. He had one Queen that I thought for sure was going to go down. In the meantime, we have the Banshees coming in for some more damage in the main. They get rid of the gas. They kill 3 drones as well. So incredibly annoying. And Maru continues to rally up for yet another push.
He's going to come in here now. Now, this push looks good. I do think it's possible for RagnaroK to hold it. This is really the moment where Maru's opening. This is kind of where it's all built up, too. We got to see how much damage this can do. He does have, I think it was 1 tank just north of this screenshot. I'm not sure where it's at now. It should be merging up with this. But already, great Baneling connects. Maru not quite close enough to the Marines to scoop them back up and get away in time.
Baneling speed ready just in the nick of time there. The siege tank is kind of defending the place that they fell back to while Maru rotates around to clear a little bit of creep. One big thing to mention here is Maru's on 75 workers, so he's already full economy right now. Like, 75 is enough for the whole game as Terran. And then, of course, RagnaroK over here, he's starting to catch up. He's getting up into those 70s, but is he going to have enough macro larva-wise to actually push these armies back?
I think he made a pretty big mistake. I think this counterattack was a bad idea.
Okay.
He wanted to come in here and basically try to punish, but the Terran ended up taking out that base. There are more Banes that can come through here, but you know, with only 1, that's never enough to wipe out all the SCVs. Not with the upgrades that we have so far here.
Like,
so
I like the idea in general, but yeah, maybe losing the 4th base and then this is your counter, it doesn't quite line up. But if you think you're not going to be able to save the 4th anyways, I guess it's good to try something like this. Now, RagnaroK is retaking a 4th base that's going to be over at 3 o'clock. He has some Hydras starting to come out right now. Let's see if he can actually get an army together to hold this off.
Okay, he's going to come forward now. This is still recoupable, by the way, for RagnaroK, but Maru, size-wise and supply-wise, he's looking pretty tough to stop. I think right now, if RagnaroK can't keep these 2 bases alive, I don't think he's going to be viable in a longer game.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. He has got to make this start working for him, this defense. The Hydras, they're not adding that much as of yet. He's only got like 5 in here, and that's not going to make that much of a dent in this army. A lot more Lings are being made. He's got a good size of Ling Bane, but I think he's going to have to cancel his hatchery. I don't know if you can hold this.
Yeah, well, he might. Hold up. The Banelings are about to finish. There's going to be a lot that can kind of come in here in sync together. Actually, hold up. Maybe a second off there. The first wave is out. The second now can merge up with that. And he's going to ditch it. Now, this is a tough call for RagnaroK. He's going to drop that base. I think that was probably the best of all the possible bad decisions you can make.
Well, if he attacks in there and loses his army, the game is over, right?
Right.
So he's trying to give himself some more options, another way to do things, but he's down 40 supply right now, which is insane. Like, Maru has so much, and he is coming for him once again, going after this 4th base that he already killed earlier on as well, going for a 3rd 4th base kill. See if he can take it down.
Okay, he's coming in here now. Owen from behind. Can these tanks target this in time? Oh my God, the tank targeting is perfect. That's it, GG. A neck-breaking push. Maru takes game 1 with a clean start all the way to a clean finish.
Wow. That was the most dominating TVZ I've seen in a very long time. RagnaroK, I don't feel like he played necessarily poorly, but it felt like Maru was like out-prepped him. He got the better end of the build orders. Everything worked for him. He denied the scouting. Like, his placement on the Starport factory were fantastic, right? RagnaroK had no idea that Banshee was coming. Yeah. And then it had Cloak on top of that. Like, that's painful stuff. So that's a tough game 1. I'm hoping RagnaroK can shake that one off, because if you let that get to you, you're going to think, oh God, he's 100 times better than me.
Well, you know, I do think that that was a very map-specific game. I do want to commend Maru here for coming into that with, I think, probably one of the best TVZ openers we could have ever asked for. You know, again, a lot of this map is centered around the idea of having a free 3rd base in the back, but the highlight we see here is basically the Reapers coming in doing a lot of damage. 3 drone kills is a lot for the start of the game. Yeah. And then the Banshee came in. I think the number was 7. I guess we'll find out as this highlight goes through. But, you know, that's enough to slow you down that 5 or 10% that allows Maru to come in with a killing blow. But this counterattack that we had up here, I think this was questionable. I think if he had come in from behind and tried to hit that base, an attack like the one we see here, but instead protecting the original 4th, I think maybe we would have had a different game. Not saying RagnaroK would have won. I felt like Maru played at 100% there.
Yeah.
But
that's actually, I think that's maybe the best way to put it. Because he's always, you know, we have all these funny meme interviews where he's like, oh, I'm playing 40% while he makes it to the finals. That was full Maru. Yeah, like that was...
What do they do in chess? The acuity or whatever? Like
accuracy?
Accuracy? Is it accuracy? Sorry, I thought it was acuity. But yeah, I mean, just
actuary?
Totally.
Is it actuary in chess?
That's what it was. Guys, we're going to go to map 2 now. Inside and out. And right now, Maru with a 1-0 lead. RagnaroK not looking bad, but if this goes up to 2-0, it's going to be tough for him to recover. The finals of GSL Code S continues on.
Alpha X, RagnaroK. Onside Gaming, Maru.
All right. We'll see what their plans are this time. You know, last time we did have the pool first. We have the pool first once again from RagnaroK. It seems like this might be just how he plays today to try to avoid dying to those Maru proxy Raxes that everyone dies to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real threat with Maru, right? Oh, my God, we have so many people in the audience. Welcome from Chicago.
Look at that awesome picture.
Excellent. I love that.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming down.
Yeah, welcome, everybody. Sorry I didn't have time to read all those signs. There were too many. It is totally packed here. Welcome, everybody in the audience. It warms my heart to have everybody back in here again. So this game, this is a different one. We had Barracks and a Reactor. We're getting more shots here from LA. Welcome. Said hi to that guy on the way into the building.
This is awesome. A lot of save Artosis signs. Guys, I'm not dying, but thank you. I do appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, we're gonna try to put this on a Patreon after for next season of GSL, guys. So hopefully it's not the last.
And if it was, great time. Great time.
An excellent time, Artosis. An excellent journey you and I've had. Yeah, I mean, Maru opens up in a much more passive fashion here, trying to basically just eke out a base. He's not really being active on the map. Instead, he's focused on trying to build up, trying to, play a more ordinary game. And, we talk a lot about, especially in finals, how players will chain builds together, map after map after map, to make the opponent behave a certain way. And it is interesting, Maru went for kind of modest aggression with the 2 Rax Reapers and a double expand, but RagnaroK already going for a quick pool, which doesn't really help him that much against a fast expanding Terran. Now again, these are small things for the early game, but things to take note of at least.
Certainly, and with Maru, everything is going to end up counting one way or another. Now, this Barracks going out for like a little scout? What am I... Is he like going for an Overlord hunt?
It seems like he is. It seems like he's
yeah. Now, he's like, he thinks there's going to be an Overlord in a certain location. There absolutely is not. It's actually on the right-hand side, which is a funny place for it, but I think that's like just to sweep in and get a full scout of exactly what the build is.
Well, I'll tell you something. Maru put himself behind a little bit by lifting that Barracks off and running out and trying to hunt the Overlord, and then didn't find anything. Seems like RagnaroK has figured something out about the way Maru behaves on this map. So you can see that Overlord now pocketed over on the right, and that's going to glide in here and try to get a scout confirm on what's happening.
I feel like that might be partially because of what happened with the Banshee last game, where he never got a good scout off.
Oh no, what is this? It's just a free Overlord.
Dude, the Overlord
RagnaroK, your Overlords are hanging out.
Oh my god. Well, that's a really solid kill right there. And Banshee's on the way here. Hellions coming down for a bit of harass as well. What is this? What? Really?
I can't believe this is going to get in. Oh, nice block.
Yeah.
But still not necessarily good enough. These Hellions can continue to come in here and do a lot of damage.
I tell you, I didn't expect a move like this, like with your first 4 Hellions, but he ends up getting 7 drone kills.
So here's a problem that is emerging, as Game 2 is beginning to unfold. It just seems like Maru is getting a lot of standard damage out early on, which, Zergs really can't allow to have happen. At the highest levels of GSL, a lot of times Terrans don't even try to run in with the Hellions because most good Zergs just shut that down, and then you're down 4 Hellions, right? But again, Game 2 begins to look a little bit more and more like Game 1.
It does. It does. Those early drone losses are just so painful. You have to remake them, and then you lost whatever money you would have had, which could have catapulted you even further ahead, right? And then it's like, okay, also all those larvae went to drones instead of units. So it just kind of puts you behind in all of these different metrics, which can make it very hard to catch up. But we'll see. It's not as bad as last game, I would say, right? Like, it's not as completely crazy as what we saw at the beginning with the Banshee and the Reapers and everything.
No, I think this is, again, still very doable here for RagnaroK. But we do want to try to take these little moments, these little interactions, and try to, add them together and see how this is going to add up. And, as we talked about before the series starting, I feel like it can go one of 2 ways. It can either be a dramatic back and forth late game where either Maru or RagnaroK takes it, or it could be a kind of short cutthroat game that Maru comes in with a kill, because it just doesn't seem like Zergs kill Maru early on almost ever.
Yeah, I'm honestly not even sure how they would go about doing it.
I'm trying to
he
think of
rotates
teams
his
that even
builds
casted
too
him
well. It would have to be, they would have to catch him with a well-disguised like roach attack when he goes 3 CC off of like a factory, right? Like it would have to be something like that. So you'd have to like get lucky with the build and have exactly the counter, and then Maru might still come back too.
Well, the Marines and tanks are going to come out now. This is the first moment where we're going to see a push. Assuming the tank sieges up, he may just try to go for creep. But usually when you see the tank with the push, that's a sign that they are going to try to hold their ground somewhere.
He's got a couple medevacs in there. Why not? He can definitely do a little bit of pushing. Goes ahead, throws his scan down, gets a bunch of healthy new tumors. So that's nice. That's a funny thing to say, a healthy
Yeah,
tumor.
I was going to say, how many times have you heard that in a
That
sentence?
is a beautiful, healthy
Yeah.
tumor you got right there.
So here comes the first push on the fourth. It's paramount that RagnaroK keeps his fourth base alive, because losing this is really going to, you know, take him away from any real longevity in the game. But so far, so good. RagnaroK fights back very well.
And a perfect pullback from Maru. Like, I mean, he knew that RagnaroK was going to have just enough, and he pulled back exactly. So really, really well done as he lands his third command center. The Banshee just kind of sitting defensively. No SCVs to catch there. And then the units come up to flank. Are you kidding me, man?
Now, you know, obviously Zerglings are the most expendable thing in the game. That's still a lot of Zerglings to lose back there.
Yeah. Yeah, he has less slings than there are Marines out right now, so a little bit of an issue. But look, one thing I have to point out, Maru has killed a decent amount of creep, but RagnaroK's creep spread is actually still very, very good. Like, it's pretty darn far out there. That one middle path, though, that Maru keeps working on, it seems like this is where he wants the game to be decided.
Now, these Banes are going to come up here, but there's no SCVs.
Oh, my God.
Maru's late
does he do
transfer
it?
kind of paid off. How does he do it? Yeah.
How does he do it? See, I would have done that too, but not purposefully.
Well, Terran's going to try to come in here, and we've seen pushes in this area. If Terran can hold this ground, it'll cut all of the other three bases around this off from each other. The Banes are going to come forward, and I got to say, questionable moves with the Banes, but it is still going to be enough.
It's some of the most ridiculous splitting I may have ever seen. I felt like RagnaroK was doing okay at the beginning, but Maru just... He has, like, octopus arms or something. I don't know. He has, like, 8 arms and 8 mice or something to be able to split like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's back in on top of it once again.
Well, the Marines are going to try to come forward. I don't believe he's going to have enough, but again, this tank is really continuing to shell away here. Maru really maneuvering pretty beautifully, to be honest with you. Picks up and then drops back down here. You know, as long as that tank is there, it's hard for the Zerg to ever force the Terran off of this position fully.
Yeah, and by the way, Maru, he's not upgrading, he's not making SCVs. He's basically sitting on a 2-base economy right now.
Uh-oh.
So,
but this is not walled in.
Man,
This is actually pretty huge. And that's a big interception to the reinforcements, and I think a smart pull-out here from RagnaroK.
Yeah, he only gets to save one of the siege tanks, which is kind of nice for RagnaroK.
You know, one thing to point out is that stimmed Marines are actually faster than Banes. Obviously, we know that when they run away, but they can also chase Banes down off creep.
Does punish a little bit there. But, you know, I think that there's still a chance here for RagnaroK. Like, the push looks pretty good for Maru, but he doesn't have a lot of follow-up here. Yeah, he has 3 bases, but he's not really building into anything else for this game. It's just about this push. So if RagnaroK can identify this correctly and just put everything into holding it, I could see him possibly taking this game, Tasteless.
Look at this attack from behind. The Banes are going to come down, but a lot of these Marines are going to fork up here into the north. The Banes continue to wrap around and clean up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, but I think he barely has enough.
His splitting is so insane. He's, like, splitting in all directions at once.
That was pretty good by RagnaroK, but I got to say, I'm kind of blown away that
I
Maru...
thought he was going to crush that.
Yeah. Well, he picks up again, and he can always take advantage of this position with that, again, that one tank and that one spot. That really has been the story of this mid-game, is the fact that you can hit, you know, from so many spots over here. Now Liberator's incorporated with this.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Liberators plus Siege Tanks really punishing those Queens. This is going to make it so much harder to actually engage. The Liberators are such a beautiful touch. He's got 7 medevacs. They are getting very low on energy, but still, that's a lot of medevacs out there to have to deal with. And here we go. He's going to jump underneath. Once again, the flank comes up. He's going to get the tanks Tasteless.
Now he's gotten rid of the tank, but there's not a lot of Zerg stuff over here. This Liberator's sort of still in this area. He's going to intercept the reinforcements, so this will be taken out, which means whatever is down here, oh my God, he's still going to get the hatch. Artosis!
Okay, he's going to get that hatch, but you know what? RagnaroK made a hatch in the bottom right, which means he still technically has 4 bases here, and he's still up 20 workers, and he killed all the tanks. Yep, including the reinforcing tank. That's huge. The tanks are a big part of what is giving Maru's staying power with this push.
Yeah, and as long as he can take those tanks that, again, can only increment out, unless he has a lot of factories making them at once, every tank that goes down is going to make the push later on that much softer. Damn, big interception there with that infantry. Is Maru going to be able to force RagnaroK to give up the space?
Yeah.
Yes, he will.
Yeah, RagnaroK insta gives it. Like, does not care at all. Pulls out of there immediately, and I think that's exactly the right play as well. I think he's actually identified what's going on very, very well. More SCVs are making their way down here, but these are SCVs that were just extra on mining out patches. He's still on those 44 workers, that basically 2-base economy that he's been on pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, as long as RagnaroK could try to stay on 4 to 5 bases, he should be okay. Maru's pushes are nowhere near as intimidating, at least in size, as they were in the last game. But Maru is succeeding in wiping out, whether that be the 4th or the 5th base here, over and over and over again. Here comes another big push in here.
Oh, yeah, he is surrounding all of those Marines. And hold on, he gets the tank, but Marines underneath the Liberator somehow survive. Some Banes end up hitting. 4 Queens remain.
He's got enough, he's got enough.
Oh,
he's going to keep pushing through.
Are you kidding me? I thought for sure he was going to break it once again, but Maru just has that special sauce, stays alive, microing forward, and this might be it.
Yeah, this is going to be lethal.
Crazy.
GG.
Crazy.
Maru takes game 2, although RagnaroK still with a strong performance. It did seem like there was this moment where the Banes could have gone to Marines in that last attack, and I think they hit a tank.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Kind of a crazy moment.
There was like 3 big flanks he did over that big bridge, right? Where he was with the 2 tanks on it. There was like 3 times that Maru split just enough that he had enough left over to force the rest away. Unreal, because RagnaroK, I honestly thought he was going to end up winning that. Like, he broke the push, kind of, and then, like, he almost broke it about 3 times.
It was impressive, but it just seemed like Maru was able to juggle more than a screen full of tasks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He was able to fork away. Now, this is the moment I thought RagnaroK was going to probably pull into the lead here. And there was a fight that happened. I guess we might
look at this.
Look
at this. Watch him pull back here. Look at that. The Banes are hitting tanks here.
Yep.
A couple of the Banes turned around from 3 Marines they were about to hit, and then everything groups up and instantly gets on top of the Queens, which with the creep gone, we're not able to retreat. Absolute insanity. Like, Maru's just, like, force of will with his micro made such a difference this game.
Now, I got to say, until the very end, it wasn't clear Maru was going to take it, but it just seems like he barely has enough Marines. He's reinforcing perfectly. It's a never-ending queue of units that are coming forward, and you can see once he sniped down the Queens, you know, a lot of that is the backbone of the defense, you know, and it just was not enough. And so now we're at 2-0. Maru halfway there to the G5L trophy.
Oh, my God, yeah.
But RagnaroK does not look bad.
He doesn't.
He's playing well. We are having these moments early on where we're seeing these very basic fights happen. And a lot of times at pro levels, both players, well, the defender usually handles it perfectly, or maybe like a drone is killed. In both of these games, it's been Maru getting like 7 kills, 9 kills.
Yeah. And the thing is, his follow-up was great. Like, whether he was planning it from the get-go or he decided after the Hellion damage, that was pretty much just an all-in from Maru. Like, he had to win with this push. He had to keep the consistent pressure on, and he did it. He did a fantastic job. I think the Liberators were absolutely key throughout. But RagnaroK was very close to holding it. Okay, game 1 went wrong. Okay, we give that one to Maru.
Bad early
game 2, strong all-in after the drone kills. RagnaroK did a good job. He still has a chance here.
We'll be right back.
your boundaries. Girl, you hit too close to the edge now. Only thing they got is toxicity. Think you need a cleanse, clear the shit out. You got the facts, but they ain't got yours. You've done enough, but they still want more. You've been a good friend down to the core. Oh, hold up, baby, don't take it. It ain't friendship if they just fake it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it, and you won't miss it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Girl, it's time you put yourself first. Go and get the love you deserve. Stop by screaming out the word. No, 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 no. Don't let anyone put you down. Stand up straight and hold your head high. Stop by saying it out loud. No, 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 no. Tell them no, 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 no. Yeah. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't take it. It ain't friendship if they just fake it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it, and you won't miss it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't take it. It ain't friendship if they just fake it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it, and you won't miss it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. I was counting my blessings. I felt beaten down. I was looking for a calling, felt lonely in a crowd. I was searching for the answers, too blind to see the signs. He was always by my side. He shed his light and picked me up. I'm safe in his arms. I found my bliss in the greatest love there is. trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive and get down and dirty, act like the bad guy. You want some love, be like when you feel like calling at midnight. You got the best of me, you got me losing sleep. I've been hopeful, baby, I was hoping maybe that you'd cross my path. I've been sinking lately, and it's hard to move. Think I'm stuck on you. We're in transits, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wonder, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. We only got this life, no guarantees and stars align. Follow your passion trail and try to keep an open mind. Hiding it by myself, no guarantees you'll find me. Said if it's faith you'll find me, leaving the past behind. We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wanna know, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. Whoa.
You're the fire in the night. You give love to me now, again and again. I feel you rush.
GSL Season 3, the final.
Welcome back, everybody. I think we're going to be going now to an interview with some friends of the pros here. Right now, it is 2-0 here. Maru in the lead in this best of 7 to see who will be the GSL Season 3 champion. Again, enough room for RagnaroK to recover, but right now, Maru with a lot of speed, a lot of momentum here on his side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. He's almost all the way to Dr. Disrespect at this point. Like,
just needs the violence now.
Well, he brought that as well, to be perfectly honest, Faceless. But yeah, looking fantastic. We're going to do a quick interview, though, with their friends.
Andy, go ahead.
And the two players have had disappointing performance this season, but they have come here to support the finalists. And Bunny, how have you been? Well, you know, after getting defeated in GSL, you know, I took some time off. I helped RagnaroK with some practice, and that's what I was doing. Then Ryung, how are you? Well, I got eliminated pretty quickly, quicker than Bunny, and Maru's been performing really well, and he's performing really well right now as well. So, you know, I'm really happy for him. So, Ryung, you need to be the player that has to play in the final stage, but it's different right now. I mean, reality is different. I mean, maybe sometime in the future I'll be able to stand on the final stage, maybe next year. So, Bunny, you really wanted to make it to the GSL finals as well. I mean, you definitely deserve to be here, but you couldn't be here. So you're really desperate for the GSL final stage, right? That's right. At the beginning of the season, I said I did want to move on to the finals, but you know, as I was playing, things were not going according to plan. But instead, the player that I'm helping practice with, RagnaroK, has made it to the final stage. I hope he performs really well today in the later games. But Bunny, we're acting as the mental coach for RagnaroK today. And so far, he is down 0-2 against Maru. So what do you think he needs the most right now? I mean, you know, for me, for myself, I have a pretty weak mentality. But you know, I gave RagnaroK advices on how to control his mentality. So hopefully, you know, he gets to show some of his practice performance today. So Ryung, apparently you helped Maru at the Protoss race in his practice. That's just amazing to hear, Ryung. So how did you help him this time? Well, in practice, you know, if I play Protoss in practice, I'm around the same level as Hero. So this time I helped a lot with Maru. But by contrast, I know Bunny's been helping RagnaroK a lot. But you know, I don't think it's going to be all that helpful today at the end of the day. Alright, so there's some provocation going on between the two players. So now RagnaroK really needs to chase Maru in this current score. So Bunny, any word of support to RagnaroK? I mean, RagnaroK was really desperate in his preparation for today's match. So I hope he really wins in the future games. I think he has the capacity to do that. So, you know, go RagnaroK. Then Ryung, what about you tomorrow? I mean, RagnaroK did practice a lot for this preparation, but so did Maru. And both players have put in a lot of effort, so you know, I want to support both players. And please look forward to the please look forward to the finalists as they had for the third game. And who will be the one to hoist the GSL Season 3 trophy at the end of the day? Let's find out now.
Thank you, Andy. We're going to go back into our matches, guys. There you heard it from Ryung and Bunny. I've got my fingers crossed here, man. I am hoping that we can get a win here for RagnaroK. You know, it's very, very rare. I think it's happened literally once in a GSL Finals where we've ever had a 3-0 turn into a 3-4.
Yes, that's correct. Only one time ever from the legend Sulky himself. Doesn't seem too likely to see it again, especially against a player like Maru. So this next map is going to be the most important one of the night here for RagnaroK. He's got to get his name on the board. 1-2's not bad. 0-2 pretty bad. 0-3 done.
Trouble Town.
Trouble Town.
Now, I think it can be done. And I think RagnaroK has not played poorly. It's just that, you know, Maru has that maybe 5–10% more momentum in the games. And, you know, that's how Terran wins, is they close in on the Zerg, they box him into a corner, and then they come in with that killing blow. I mean, the Zerg's role in the matchup is to keep growing and outpace the Terran to where the Terran can't catch up. We haven't seen that so far, but we're going to take another look now as we go into map number 3 on Waterfall. Right now, Maru with a 2-0 lead versus RagnaroK.
Ragnarok.
It's packed in here, man. So sick. Welcome, everybody. We love you guys.
Onside Gaming, Maru.
So we should note this is a little bit of a tighter map, which, you know, it can be troublesome to Zergs, but some Zergs play around it by getting aggressive. Got some Maru support here from Singapore. Welcome.
Whew. Yeah. So, you know, this one definitely can be cut in half. It does feel a little bit smaller overall, no doubt about that, which is generally pretty good, as you mentioned, you know, for Terran here. RagnaroK for the first time goes hatchery first, by the way, just to throw that out there, right? He does some drone scouting around, but a hatchery first play. So he's starting to take, I guess, in a way, a little bit more of a risk, right?
Right.
Because if you go for that hatchery first and Maru has 3 Raxes building over at your third, you are probably going to die.
Yeah, you and I were talking on the break about the fact that he might have some kind of rush like that coming out, but we haven't seen it just yet. But, you know, in this game, RagnaroK just going to try to expand out here. I do want to point out, and we haven't had it yet. I kind of thought we would in at least one game also, but I thought we would have a command center first play. Maru not really seeming to experiment with that. A lot of the other Terrans have really enjoyed doing that, but it seems like Maru is going to play around that.
Well, the way he's playing, it looks right now like he can do anything he wants, you know?
This is just going to be killed.
Yeah. He's going to live that and get it.
Okay, so this is probably literally the worst thing that could have happened within, what, we're about 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. That's probably the worst thing that could have gone down.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that that is, you know, a loss, but what else that bad could have happened right now for Zergertosis? I can't think of anything.
I mean, there could have been proxy Raxes and he died already.
But in a non-proxy Rax game.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, in a non-proxy Rax game, because that was the first Marine. So, like, if the Rax isn't proxy, that Marine couldn't even have gotten to the Zerg base yet. So, yeah, you're right, Tasteless. In a non-proxy Rax game, that's the worst that could have happened.
So he's going to send the 3 Marines out. Now, we don't really see this ever.
Yeah, but there's nothing on the map to see these.
Exactly. Not just that, but, you know, the Zerg's trying to play catch-up, so I don't see any Lings out. Now, Queens are not afraid of 3 Marines, but let's see what he can get done. These are these unique moments you get with 2 really good players where somebody gets an unusual edge, and we get to explore what exactly they think is the best way to play in these kind of uncommon at pro-level moments.
You know, it's funny. He actually just scouted for the third base in both locations, then turns around and goes home.
Makes sense.
That's it. And it works really, really well, unless your opponent just happens to be pulling a ton of Lings or something. But then at least I guess you get to scout them early on.
You would confirm that and maybe even defend it.
Yeah. So a very nice little push out there from Maru. He has a lot of info. And not a lot, honestly, for RagnaroK. He is going to go ahead and throw down a Roach Warren. So maybe a very different style of play coming up.
Okay, so the Roach Warren has been planted down here. Now, are we going to have some Roach aggression here? Let's not forget that RagnaroK's done that, frankly, a lot in this tournament. And you know, there's nothing fancy about it, but it doesn't really need to be that fancy. He just makes a bunch of roaches and tries to push. And this basically forced a lift, or at least forced the Terran to defend. On the Terran side of things, a very early drop. Some Hellions coming out on the ground, so he probably wants to hit from 2 different locations at once. And behind that, a Liberator being made, maybe to go into the main or the third to try to hit drones there.
He's doing all sorts of stuff, man. He's set up a lot of things at once right now.
It's a very tactical opener, but let's keep in mind it is going to be that Ling Roach opening here. So it's not like RagnaroK's not going to have answers in play of his own.
It's a very good point. The Roaches are going to be great at defense early on here. The Roaches come over, and the Medevac like immediately picks up and runs away. The Hellions have not dived in yet. They're still kind of just central on the map. A Siege Tank coming as well as that Liberator. A lot of Lings being made. Look at this, 24 Lings and Ravagers. Oh, RagnaroK is actually going to get really aggressive here, Tasteless.
Yeah.
You were asking what does it look like if Maru dies early, like who does it? We're going to see if RagnaroK can.
And keep in mind, both the add-ons are right here at the entrance. So forcing a liftoff there would be huge. The Hellions are going to come in, but, you know, even if they get some drones, and so far it's only going to be 2 or 3, 2 actually, keep in mind that this army's already been made, and so the tank goes down.
Dude, the tank going down is big. Now the Lings come up to actually push everything away from those Ravagers, and he will start working on that depot. Another Ravager pops out. Look at this, 5 Ravagers, man. This is serious now from RagnaroK, throwing out a ton of bios. Maru has to try to dodge here. Just a little bit of damage being dealt from them. Now microing back heavily.
Yeah, and a lot more shots coming out. He's going to tear down that depot. There is one more tank coming out here, but keep in mind, with this Ravager count, you can easily pick that tank off as it goes into siege mode.
Dude, okay, that was good micro from Maru, and actually from RagnaroK as well. I actually like the patterns he was throwing his bios in as well, making it very spread out and making Maru really split and run a lot. I think that was a pretty good attack, and he started droning behind it.
Yeah, now with Maru holding off the attack, a drop's going to come down. There are 2 Overlords over this vacant area on the map, so they will see the drop in coming in here. So we can see these Ravagers now scrambling to get back over here and try to defend this area.
Only a small handful of links, so the Ravager's going to have to do some heavy lifting. Transfusion does go down on 1. The Queen almost gets picked already. He's pulling that Queen back, and in fact, the Ravagers starting to get picked off here, unfortunately for Maru. I mean, for RagnaroK. That's such important units for him right now.
Yeah, he killed them all off, and those are really the high-value targets, right?
Yeah.
Queens and Ravagers are what you want to continue to try to stack over time. And it's kind of funny, like, I like what RagnaroK did, and I even like with the attack, and I even like that he made drones, but then it seems like Maru has such good instinct. He knew to come in here and drop, and he found the targets he wanted, and he killed them off. And, you know, to trade Marines out for Ravagers or Queens, it's completely and totally worth it.
Yeah, very, very much so. Like, he dropped him down to 2 Queens, 0 Ravagers. I think that RagnaroK was being pretty darn greedy after his push, and Maru got a great counterattack off. So, very well done there. As Maru lands his 3rd command center, he's really refilling that SCV count. He had fallen to like 38 or so from the attack, but already looking good at over 50.
Yep, does get a deny there. Pretty big moment, you know, at least forcing to cancel. But RagnaroK is still, you know, getting steadily to where he needs to be here as well. He's got his 4th base coming. Baneling speed is going to be finishing up here, as well as attack and armor. I don't think the RagnaroK's going to actually counterattack. I think he's trying to keep drops onto Maru's side of the map. You know, if Maru drops too much anywhere else, there is going to be a vulnerability at that 3rd base. He could try to come in and hit that.
Well, right now, Maru pushing out. Going to try to get some more pressure on here. I'm a little bit worried. It's just like Lingbane Queen once again, but no good creep spread on this side. He gets, yeah, it looks like he decides at the last second there that he didn't quite have the critical mass he needed. Oh, man. The game started looking good for RagnaroK, but I'm feeling like Maru's catching up in every single way now.
It's subtle, but he's sniping a lot of the right stuff to kill. You know, another Ravager is going down here. He is pulling away. And, you know, this is what happens if you don't go for a Spire. You know, the Terran could kind of go at will to where they feel like is safe, and you have no way to chase that down and stop it. And so we're going to have another attack come in here now. Did RagnaroK morph these Banes too close?
His Baneling speed is not quite ready yet, but it looks like he has just enough. And Maru does pick up and zoom out of there. Now, bringing more of his units down, building another command center as well. Maru getting ready for a bigger, longer macro game, it looks like. And 2-2 started at about the same time on both sides. So maybe we can get into one of these really big, drawn-out games and see how RagnaroK fares in that situation.
Yeah, I think we're now going to have a game, well, the kind of game that we wanted to see from RagnaroK. One where he can try to hang with Maru. I mean, it does seem like we're past the point in time where Maru is going to have some kind of a push that allows him to basically overcome the Zerg. And so it's going to switch into instead Maru trying to hit 2 or 3 different locations at once, as RagnaroK's going to continue to focus on growth and gobbling up resource locations on the map.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to like maybe push back some creep, get a little bit of harassment damage done. And maybe we can see him try a push still, like once he gets a few more tanks out and gets 2-2 done, right? Like that's a pretty normal time for a Terran push to try to kill RagnaroK. But I feel like RagnaroK is kind of stabilized really well. He's got a healthy drone count. His creep spread's starting to look pretty darn good. Like he's on 5 base now. Yeah, man. It's looking like we're going to get a macro game finally.
But I do want to point out a macro game on this map does seem to be pretty taxing from the Zerg's perspective. If you just take a line and from the upper left side, diagonally draw that to the lower right side, you basically have the map cut in half. Now, it's also possible you could have a full diagonal split from upper left to bottom right, depending on, you know, the way that the two teams or two races grow here. But, you know, it's a bit of a tight game here. It's a small map, which creates a little bit of problems. You know, Terran has the ability to kind of come out and strike different locations almost immediately, which means that Zerg has to be very good on response time.
Well, one thing I want to mention is and that over 100 lings, look at that, 42 Banes, crazy army. But as we have RagnaroK going up to Hive, he threw down a Hydralisk Den and is getting those upgrades. So what that makes me guess is he might be taking into consideration how the map is a bit tighter, how it is a bit harder for Zerg to get those extra bases. He might end up going Lurker Defiler, right? I mean, Defiler, oh my god, Viper.
Viper, right.
But Lurker Viper is the most cost-efficient you can get as Zerg in this matchup, right?
Sure.
So that, if he tries to go like that sort of grind approach, that's a really reasonable way to play it if you feel like your opponent is just going to be too good at defending.
Yeah, and it's a very straightforward way to deal with this, where you actually try to fight them. You can see the drops now. I mean, so far RagnaroK's defending pretty well on both sides. This is the most macro game we've had so far in this finals. And Maru just trying to get done, you know, whatever he can with the small number of units that he has. Maru trying to basically drop in these narrow corridors, which allows him to get a little bit more time and therefore a little bit more value out with the units. While RagnaroK has to run around playing whack-a-mole to try to clean that up.
It's kind of funny to see, like, he's just trying to snipe queens and whatnot, but there is some static D going down from RagnaroK, so, like, this is probably the last time we're going to see drops that look like this. This is pretty much being shut down at this point. Oh, he gets that last queen there. But yeah, everything will end up getting picked off.
It's a little bit crazy how long it took for that to be wiped out.
Yeah.
And here Terran takes the upper left. So we're running out of bases. It's undeniable.
Yeah.
There are two bases, one in the upper left middle and one in the bottom right middle, that I think are hard for anybody to take.
Yeah.
And so we'll kind of deal with that when we get there. But the only thing that's really left to take besides that would be the center right base. So we are running out of locations to fight over.
And I definitely agree, like, these rich Vespene bases are like, that's a very difficult one to take. It's so wide open to your opponent to attack, no matter which side you're trying to take. So you see Maru setting up in this very defensive stance. We're getting into that portion of the game where Maru stops attacking and tries to grind through everything. Yeah, you see it exactly. 3 command centers, 2 factories on the way. And look at this. Oh my god, a massive attack from RagnaroK, bringing in all of his Ling Bane right now. That is an like, look at how many Banelings that is. Oh my god.
It's kind of insane. The question is, how much did he actually kill off? It seems like Maru's supply wasn't too injured by that.
No, not too much.
Frankly, this whole game was sort of building up to that many Banelings, right? And I don't think that made the kind of impact that RagnaroK needed it to make. And we're having a lot of command centers get thrown down here, which are going to be orbitals or planetaries to kind of reinforce both defensively and economically the position that Maru's already got. 3-3's about to finish. RagnaroK may want to think twice about attacking in again, but this is a hard part where it feels like anything the Zerg does might not work out that nicely. And this is kind of where Maru made his name in the last 2 years of TVZ, is basically once he can't push anymore, he turtles and waits for the Zerg to overextend or burn out as far as mining out his bases.
And he actually gets a pick right there. Loses quite a few units, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we are definitely in the phase of the game where these attacks that RagnaroK's trying are not really going to work. So I'm a little bit nervous, right? Because I saw him get the Hydralisk Den, so I thought, okay, maybe we're going to see him go into an alternate composition. He is going Broodlords now. So that is something else at least. But we're going to have to see how good he is at cracking these pretty much uncrackable positions that Maru has.
Yeah, well, it almost seems like Maru is deciding that actually it's going to be his time to try to attack out here. And, the problem for the Zerg is there's not a lot of room. You can see already with just one screenshot lowered here, and suddenly we're in a Zerg base away from a Terrans.
Yeah.
Which means you could basically use the base that's north of this position to have tanks up there to cover the units that are going to be closer to creep. Use that to cover the units that are actually pushing the base. I mean, this is getting tough, and the fact that this map is taller than it is wide creates another problem for the Zerg as well.
Yeah, that's just generally good for Terran, is having those kind of thinner maps like that. But look here, Tasteless, like, this is that really wide open base we were talking about, the Rich Vespene Geyser, where it's super easy to attack. So I think it's right for RagnaroK to give that up. Like, there's no reason he should be able to hold that. Oh God, he just picked off a few of his own tanks. He's killing his own tanks right now to open supply to add Thors against these incoming broods.
Yeah, smart move here.
Yeah.
The moment you see that many broodlords come out, you don't need tanks like you used to.
Well, the tanks actually can be detrimental in a way.
Sure.
The broodlings that draw the tank fire, that's going to make the broodlings so much more deadly.
Yeah. And so it's become a bit slower right now, but Terran's actually going to try to take this base over here. I didn't think this would be possible, but let's see if he can actually hold it. I can't imagine this is going to stay up for more than a minute or two. By the way, snipe inbound!
Oh, man. He doesn't have any detection. That's a ton of snipes.
That's a big screw-up by RagnaroK.
Man.
There's no reason why there should not be an Overseer over there.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. He had the Banelings, too, so, like, it was preventable by just hitting the damage on there. But 6 Broodlords fell. That's pretty expensive. That's pretty painful.
Now, I really thought this base couldn't last for much longer here for the Terran, but it seems like he's already taken a pretty big victory in that last little engage. And, you know, if there's not many more Banelings left over here, oh, well, hold on a second. He's actually going to be able to just come over here and crush this, maybe.
Oh, the tanks that the Ghosts run back into. Very, very painful there. The Planetary might get picked off. No, he turns around as the Ghosts come back up, even though the Planetary's already at half health. What a hard area to attack into here, Tasteless. My God.
He should definitely land some mules over there and try to repair that Planetary. The Planetary really gives the Terran the foothold. Keep in mind, like, even if you're not mining from this base, that's, like, not that bad. You can mine a little bit later on. He has some SCVs coming down here as well. This Thor turns out to be a great magnet for those Banes.
Yeah.
I see, what, 2 Broodlings here? Is that it?
Yeah, 2
Broodlords
right now.
Excuse me.
Yeah, look at this. The Ghosts coming up and just putting on so much pressure. And then the rest of RagnaroK's army does go into attack, but like Thor,
man.
Ghost, Planetary, Siege Tank.
Dude, it is 137 supply to a nearly maxed out Terran.
Yeah, with more bank as well. And, you know, it's a tough map. It's so small. It's so close. The bases are to each other. And Maru is putting on a masterclass of how to destroy Zerg here late game.
Yeah, I mean, this is just total perfect handling. And if you look at the map, top part compared to the bottom, you notice Zerg has basically 2 bases in the middle that he can't use, while Terran has his. That's all you have to do as Terran. It seems like Maru's going to press his advantage, but right now, I mean, even without a Terran push, I think that there's no way for Zerg to recover until Zerg is able to fight back and reclaim the bases that he has. He cannot. GG. 3-0.
Wow.
As things are looking very dire right now here for RagnaroK.
This is turning to be pretty one-sided. We've seen some great fighting from RagnaroK in Game 2. We saw some great fighting. I think that Ling Ravager rush was quite good, but Maru's counterpunch was just as good. Man, Maru is completely on top of his game here tonight.
It's kind of crazy.
It is.
Well, again, I want to say RagnaroK didn't look bad. He definitely did not have an Overseer when he needed to have one when those Broodlords were there. It seems like that was really the moment where they were both beginning to peak at their highest points, in other words.
Yeah.
And
that was a painful moment.
It was, yeah. I mean,
6 broods for free.
Yeah.
Not
what RagnaroK wanted to do was hold that area, chuck Broodlings in there, and maybe force the Terran to back away and try to trade out that way. But it didn't happen. We did have an aggressive opening, as you guys can see here early on, but it almost seemed like RagnaroK got a little bit too comfortable after this fight because Maru immediately picked up with the few units he had and flew across the map.
Yeah, honestly, if he had made like 4 Roaches or something, I think he would have been fine here. Because this was the problem. Just reducing the Ravager count down to nothing. Because the plan was not to go Roach Ravager. It was a Ravager Ling push into Ling Bane, which is, I think that's a reasonable way to go about it, but to lose those so quickly. And then, of course, this attack, I mean, that was so many Banelings. Tasteless.
It was crazy, but the
huge investment.
The tanks were like so spread out, and it seemed like he wanted to hit a bunch of places at once, or maybe he should have hit like the upper left alone from that side. And this was the pretty bad error here in the late game. He lost those Broodlords, and when RagnaroK tried to fight and force Terran off of that, there was just not a lot that he could do.
Yeah, he didn't have like a single Spore there. He didn't have Overseers in position. He didn't even have like an Infestor with Fungal Growth to reset that, right? Like he had no way to really stop those ghosts and losing 6 broods for free. It's too bad because he had a slight edge on tech when the broods first hatched. You saw when Maru killed off a few of his tanks, he's like, oh, my comp isn't quite right here, right? So I'll kill some of my own units quicker than losing them, just get exactly what you need out. It's unfortunate because I feel like RagnaroK played a strong game. It's just Maru played stronger again.
I'm a little bit worried now for RagnaroK. We've seen that Maru, even when we get into the late game, he doesn't even have to go to exhaust play, right? He just sort of overpowers him anyways. Usually at the top levels for Zerg, once the game goes on long enough, the Terran basically has to turtle and try to force a Zerg to mine out. But Maru seemed to have even a very good handle on that. But that being said, that map is a very specific type of map.
Yeah.
It's a little bit claustrophobic for the Zerg. Some of these other maps, they have very open areas so the Zerg can keep reaching and taking bases and trying to play keep away. But, yeah, that was definitely a map where I think Terran favored for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Like, for this matchup especially, like, even where you can place your siege tanks at your third, fantastic. But, you know, that was Maru's map pick, and now he's won it. Can RagnaroK take map 4 and start to fight back in some way?
Well, we'll find out after this short break, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I was born to be free.
칠성사이다 제로.
아침엔 라떼 홀릭 점심엔 라떼 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭
달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타
라떼 홀릭
상큼함 맥스 칼로리 X 맛있는 탐스 제로 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로 탐스 제로 같이 떠나볼래?
어제 쓰러져도 다시 높여내 시벨 칼로리 제로 뛰어 피곤한 날 리셋 버핏 심장을 뛰게 해 이러니 버킷 리스트 핫세스 날 다시 깨우는 마법같이 핫세스 온몸에 그 강해자리 탐미 핫세스 피닉스 마법같이 핫세스 핫세스
All right, everybody, we're back as the GSL Finals continues on. I'm a little afraid to say it, but I'll just say what we're all thinking. It seems like the writing's on the wall here.
RagnaroK's going to come back in a legendary manner, and
Yes!
for Maru,
Yes!
it's clear as day. You can't see it.
For RagnaroK's sake, we got to take this one game at a time, right? But all Maru needs to do is win one more game, and he's made history. He will have his 5th GSL win, the G5L. That trophy has been collecting dust for how long now? 4 years?
Oh, longer than that. No, they made it because MVP almost did it. So it's actually the trophy is actually
that's actually from the MVP era.
Yes.
Oh my God! I thought it was
If
newer
I'm not
than
mistaken,
that.
it was actually made, if I recall correctly, way
That's
back
funny.
for the only other Terran that ever kind of did what Maru's done. Well, I guess Innovation did pretty damn well too, but you get my meaning. It's been collecting dust
Nobody's
for a very
had it.
long time.
If they ever close the show down, I would be going down there and stealing that and bringing it home. But it seems like, or I could just get my own made. But there's something better about stealing.
There's something better about stealing.
Yeah,
for sure. You want the actual original. You don't just want like a nice fake.
No.
Let
We want a
Maru
real
go
stolen.
get a nice fake after you've stolen his trophy.
But it seems like Maru might be taking that tonight, and that's crazy. This is our last cast in the studio together here, Artosis.
Yeah.
But I got to say, what a way to end it if that's what happens. But again, I very much welcome a RagnaroK comeback. It's hard to imagine,
It would be amazing.
It seems
to see.
like one of the most unlikely things in the universe that could occur right now.
It seems unlikely until it actually occurs, though.
Yeah.
And it's been done once. Maybe it can be done again. I'm like holding my breath for
It's
it.
up there with the probability of a meteor hitting the studio right now.
Meteor is much more likely.
Me being trampled by an elephant.
Well,
somewhere,
the
sometime
thing about
today.
the meteor hitting the studio, Tastes, is like if it's coming out of the sky, there's nothing that can stop it. What's in the way of RagnaroK is Maru in peak form, which
That's
is
true.
like he's way better than a little satellite.
And the
you
truth
might
is,
shoot
if
into
the meteor was coming, we'd probably send Maru out to take it out.
I would send.
It's like that
CEST,
movie
but
where
yeah.
they send miners instead of astronauts to blow the
That
asteroid
made
up.
perfect sense.
Yeah, it's
Armageddon
like,
was a great movie.
We got to be like, let's send pro gamers into space and have them.
Yeah, they'll
knock
micro
that
against it.
asteroid.
They'll
out of
do
the
a
way.
really
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah. But yeah,
You know how many destructible rocks Maru's killed? Like, clearly, this rock is destructible in some way.
He'll have 2 medevacs come in there and stim down the asteroid and pick up and leave and be back to Earth in no time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope for RagnaroK's sake he can at least start the comeback. Again, I think when you're down this much, it's bad from the losing player's perspective to ever think about it from like, okay, how do I win all 4 of these games? You can't do it like that.
Yeah.
One game at a time.
One game at a time. And
now, we also mentioned the Sartosis. We really think there's going to be proxy racks this game.
Yes, we were talking about it on the commercial break. And if I'm Maru, man, 100%.
Look at the audience. It's Mario. It's Mario in the audience.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, 3-0. Maru just won the macro game. He won a 2-base or into 3-base all in, and he won like the dominating game 1. It's time for proxy racks, I think. Like if I'm RagnaroK, it's got to be pull first here.
Well, I mean, the reality is that having 4 games in a row that Maru just has to win 1 game in, it's tough because RagnaroK has to be prepared for anything. Maru could go command center first. He could go for a triple proxy rack or double proxy rack.
Yeah.
He could go right down the middle and just take a quick expand, a barracks into an expand, something like that.
You can make a Reaper.
Yeah.
You make 3 Reapers.
Well, guys, our game is loading up now. Cosmic Sapphire for map number 4. Can RagnaroK come back? Or is Maru going to close us out with the 5th GSL Code S Championship? Let's find out now.
Alpha X, RagnaroK.
Again, packed studio here.
I think even the Maru fans are cheering for RagnaroK
Yeah.
right now. No one wants this to end so quickly.
How long have we been live for here? Let's
Onside
see.
Gaming, Maru.
So the show starts at 5.
Yeah.
It's 6:47 right now. So, I mean, this could be. Let's just say Maru wins faster. This could be a record short GSL Finals. By the way, Command Center first.
Yes.
So we talked about this build. I'm glad we're at least going to see it in one of these games. But a lot of Terrence in Season 2 and Season... did we see it in Season 1? I'm not sure. Maybe
not as much, but
yeah.
it
I think we
increased.
saw
It's been
somebody-
increasing all year.
Yeah, and we saw it a lot early on in Season 3, but basically Terrence blindly taking a Command Center. And there's a couple different forks in the road that you can take from that point on, but this is very popular. We didn't see it with Maru very much, which is kind of interesting. Maru was not trying to adapt to the way that the other players are playing the game.
Yeah.
Kind of saw that and had dismissed it, but here in a Game 4, which in this case is not pivotal for him, happy last cast,
Thank
Sartosis.
you very much. Appreciate it, guy from Australia.
Yes, welcome. But, he's going to bring this build out now. And I got to say, it's kind of interesting to see him do this now. But I do feel like a player like Maru this far ahead, this is where he can get experimental. And this is where it's very hard for the Zerg.
For sure.
All
the pressure is on RagnaroK.
The only way for the Zerg to get out of this is to have a perfect combo of 4 wins in a row after 3 very different losses for Maru.
Yeah.
And so with this build that Maru's doing, there is some risk involved because, if they just blind counter it, maybe they could punish you. But why would you be blind countering in one of the 4 games you have to perfect your way through here? So Maru takes this advantage and kind of leverages that to have an even bigger advantage coming into this. And it doesn't seem like RagnaroK is going to have an opening that can punish this.
No, but his opening's not bad. Like, if it had been like the defensive pool first, like we were both suggesting, he'd be much further behind. Now, this is a 2-factory, which is really different.
Really weird. I actually, you know, I talked about a minute ago, there are like a couple different forks in the opening that you can do with this. This is actually one I had not even thought of. Whoa!
Oh, he didn't quite get in. He gets the Ling out. Okay. I just wonder if he could have run past and actually got a full scout. But the thing is, this looks normal. You see it, you're like, okay, that's a command center first, and that's a reactored Hellion follow-up. Very normal stuff. But 2-factory. So probably 2-factory Blue Flame Hellion. That's my guess.
Oh, I was wondering if maybe there'd be something with Cyclones. Some inspiration from Gumiho, maybe.
That was very cool. And it could be. I think it is going to be Blue Flame, though. I think Maru's just kind of going to go for it.
Could he go for an armory and try to do some weird Hellbat timing off 2 base?
2-factory Hellbat? Oh, that would be crazy.
I don't know for sure, guys.
It could be. It's possible.
Blue Flame coming.
Blue Flame Hellbats are good, too.
I'm spitballing here, but again, we've never cast this build in GSL. And by the way, there's a reason why Maru did this. So he did a greedy opening into a very obtuse tech.
That's right.
We've casted the CC first opening several times, actually a lot, frankly, this year. And I'll tell you what, man, we have not
hasn't gone into this yet.
Casted this variation yet.
Yeah.
And this is smart because RagnaroK now has to really think on his feet and play, I think, an extremely different type of game. And the question is, how well can he adapt? He's already under probably more pressure than he's had in his entire career.
For sure.
Against the scariest opponent he's ever faced in the setting like this.
Yes, indeed. And, like, this is going to be so difficult because it's going to be a lot of Hellions. And, like, he needs to just take as little damage as possible. That's the key here. And it seems insanely hard to do. There's a Banshee coming as well. There's Cloak coming as well. Like, look at this. You're going to get an Overlord kill. Very painful stuff. There are some Spores on the way. But it's hard to imagine him blocking all of these Hellions coming up. Now, as soon as they shoot, he's going to know exactly what's going on. Like, as soon as one shot comes out of a Hellion.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot just
oh
yet.
My God, that's so many, man.
It's so
that
many,
is
man.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he gets the walling up.
Dude, that's a sick wall.
Oh,
that is a sick wall.
It? Oh, he gets in. He gets in.
Uh-oh.
And now the Queens are blocked out. He tries to block again. It doesn't quite work. He's just too fast.
Oh
9 kills.
God. Look at this. The drones trying to pull away. He's going to get all of them. Tasteless. Oh my God. These Blue Flame Hellions massacring the drones.
This is so many drone kills. 25 so far. Hellions still high in number and now roasting these Zerglings. More Hellions come down.
No. And this might be it. This might be the end of this GSL run here for RagnaroK. 29 drones have already fallen. Gets another volley. 30 drones before he clears all the Hellions. 40 workers against 51. And look at this follow-up. It's mech. It's speed Banshees. Maru right now is styling on RagnaroK.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a different way to play. And you can see RagnaroK just completely blindsided with it. Traditionally, we see the Terran either take a third base and then push with, Medevac Marine, or we see them 2-base push hard with the tanks to try to close it out. And that's basically what RagnaroK was bracing for. And then for the Hellions to come out in kind of a rug-pulling move, totally threw RagnaroK off. 30 workers killed.
And 24 Lings.
Yes.
And an Overlord from the Viking. That's 43 larva worth of units gone.
RagnaroK, I mean, he's recovering with drones, but every drone that he had to remake was not part of an army that's going to be able to fight what's coming next.
Yeah. And you know what? With Cloaked Banshees with Hyperflight Rotors being shown just suddenly coming up here, that's going to be incredibly hard to deal with. There's not going to be a great way for him to catch that. He's going Ling, Bane, Muta, it looks like, which is kind of playable here, but it's a little bit difficult against mech, right? And now he's seeing, okay, we have all these factories. We have Cyclones coming out. I think he has a much better idea of what's going on. Let's see if he gets ranged attack or melee attack.
Yeah, another supply block here, not a block. RagnaroK.
May as well be a supply block,
Tabak,
Tasteless.
man. Now,
he's got enough L's already. He doesn't need another one in the word balk.
The Banshees are going to come out now. Cloak had been researched earlier, which is going to be another opportune moment to try to come in here and gun down workers. The fourth base is being taken out in the open as it doesn't seem like Zerg has any real path for recourse.
All right, the Banshee's waiting for that speed upgrade to finish, and here we go. Those are some quick Banshees right there. Pick off some drones here on the edge, go after that Queen. The Queen gets picked off before it can get back to its Spore. That's 4 Banshees, man. Like, they literally can go after the Spore if they want. They can fly over and ignore it. The world is their oyster. Now look at this. Blue Flame Hellions coming in. This is a good surround, though.
Pretty good control here from RagnaroK. In fact, completely shutting this down. Only a small handful of Zerglings are killed off.
Yeah, that was very well done.
But the Banshees continue to do a lot of damage. So many Queens coming forward, but vision is not there for them to help gun down the few remaining Banshees that try to run away. 8 mutas are inbound here. This is the first time we've had mutas really made in the series so far.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, plus the Overlord speed just finished up, so the Overseer can help the mutas to kind of prevent the Banshees from doing too much more damage. But look at the worker count. 82 workers for Maru and 68 for RagnaroK. That's like reverse of what we need to see.
So, again, with the Banshees having the speed upgrade, they're a lot quicker, much more nimble at moving around the map and basically avoiding the mutas. So the mutas are going to have to pull back now and try to play a defensive game. I was wondering if we're going to go into Ling Muta Bane here, but we see missile attack upgrade is being made as well. It just seems like this is going to be kind of a powering build here. Hard to imagine it working, though, with RagnaroK being behind in every possible metric right now.
Yeah, it's such a tough position, and we'll see how he plays out. Like, he's getting Infestation Pit here. He did go for just all attack upgrades, which is like a pretty normal thing to see as well. I wonder if he's going to try to go Swarm Host, or is he going to go a different way? Like, are we going to run up to the Hive Tech? Is it possible Infestors are an idea he's pushing around? I'm really unsure, but it feels like a lot of these options are a little bit slow, and Maru's going to come out really soon with his push.
Yeah. You could see even more upgrades going to finish up here. Tanks now inching out. Scans come down as Maru's concluding his target. Even cleaning this creep up here. Not a lot of anti-area over here, am I right?
Five Cyclones is it.
Yeah, is that
if
enough?
He had a good amount of mutas, he could actually break this.
Yeah, well, he only has 10 out here, which just seems to be barely not the right number.
Yeah, I think so. And look at that, 3 Thors are being made, so I think he realizes, like, okay, I do need a little bit more anti-air. And I think those are going to be out in time, that there's not a real opportunity here for these mutas. So that base, not going to happen. Very close to an important base now. Maru's starting to push in. Utilizing these Banshees very nicely. The muta's trying to catch reinforcements. Oh, look at this. They might find an empty expansion here.
Yeah, well, not too empty, right? Undefended. He's going to be able to kill off a lot of workers here with these mutas. This is going to force the Cyclones back. The problem is this is kind of a meh amount of damage to do over here. I mean, I think the reality is that the walls very soon are going to start closing in for the Zerg. You know, Zerg is basically being matched right now by the Terran, and the other places that Zerg can expand to are the bottom left and the upper right, which are frankly just not that easy to take, as exhibited over here with these Banshees.
Certainly. One thing to mention is that RagnaroK has successfully maxed out, which is nice to see. Baneling's rolling in now to try to deal with some of these Hellbats. It's a good amount of Raptors as well. Doesn't really get the hits that he's looking for with them, unfortunately. And Maru just using that amazing multitask here with these Speed Banshees, and that is such a problem for him to deal with. But now some Corruptors do come out.
It is kind of crazy what sort of value these Banshees are getting in this game here. Now, Zerg's going to fight back. I'm unclear on what exactly is here to try to help defend. It seems like it's nothing but big, clunky units fighting each other.
Yeah.
This is a Warcraft 3 game right here until the Lynx came in. And so, you know what, the Zerg fights this off. Not that easily, but I think we really need to keep going back to the shape of this map. There's one free base in the bottom left. Everything else is in the upper right, and there's not much left for that. And I think basically Terran can continuously poke in both of these locations. Not even quickly. He can do it slowly. And, you know, Zerg's just going to basically be matched.
Maru's mining more, and his units are more efficient.
Right.
So those are some problems. But we have some Vipers being made. That's really useful. He does have a decent-sized group of roaches now, so maybe we can get like some abducts to start gaining some value against the Thors and the siege tanks. But I do feel like with Maru just taking, like he's going mech with almost all mobile units and then also expanding everywhere while killing everything RagnaroK has. Now RagnaroK's like kind of keeping up, but that's all, right? Like Maru is just kind of outdoing him. He's outpacing him right now.
Yeah, well, it's looking pretty pretty grim right now in the future for RagnaroK, right? I mean, look at the sensor towers. You know, that one base has been reclaimed, by the way, that base at 3 o'clock. But, I mean, the reality is that there's nowhere that Zerg can really attack. There's not a lot Zerg can really do. And he can, Maru can basically come down with this army of robots. And basically,
got a robot army.
Yeah, and trade very efficiently.
Well, let's see. The roaches come up. Those are some good blinding clouds overall, and it looks like the Corruptors can push back the Banshees a reasonable amount, but there's just so many Thors, and as the Thors push back the Corruptors, in come those Banshees again with their absolutely insane DPS, killing off so many roaches and Ravagers.
And, I mean, he's basically won the ground war. The Corruptors can't really do anything but chase the Banshees. There is a small victory, by the way, at 12. He does chase that away. Again, Zerg needs to keep this base alive. If he can just get enough Lings over here, maybe there's a shot. But it does seem like everything's a little bit spaced out, right? There was too many units fighting kind of individually, so to speak.
He's definitely having a hard time actually getting a solid engagement here. He doesn't have the critical mass, but finally he will clean this. He'll keep this base alive, and that's incredibly important. He needs to keep it alive. There are still 6 Speed Banshees flying around, and by the way, of course, those Mutas killing that base. Definitely a big moment there for RagnaroK as well. He's actually up in supply right now. It's not better supply, to be honest. It's like roaches and Corruptors and stuff. Like 5, 7 Mutas that are not all that useful right now. And he's playing against mech. But, right, you know, like RagnaroK is fighting admirably.
Now, he does actually chase away those Mutas. Keep in mind that, you know, let's say the RagnaroK takes that upper right. It's not, oh my God. Is there no Overseer?
There's nothing that shoots up anyways.
Oh, I guess that's
whether
true.
you have one or not.
But there isn't even one here.
Those Banshees are so scary. I almost don't want to see them as they kill all my stuff. My God. Comes up here with those Corruptors and they get the kill.
Now, that's probably the worst thing that could have happened there, because the reality is that you would have at least wanted the Terran to trade out some of his stuff of value, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But instead, they came in there and they sniped it, and then they escaped immediately.
It's really painful. And look at this. He's actually built up that Hellbat count. That's going to do a great job tanking at the front of the army. There are 18 Banes. If he can get a good couple Bane hits onto these Hellbats, he might be able to actually get in there. Look at that. Good blinding clouds. Excellent blinding clouds. RagnaroK getting in on top of everything. Lings and Banes pushing forward and abduct as well. He's kind of pushing it back.
Yeah, he's fought back nicely. Let's keep in mind that the very, very upper right base is still taken. He just needs to get some drones transferred to it. He does have the Mutas ready to try to counterattack in here, but Cyclones are going to try to chase that away as fast as they can.
Yeah, very good job clearing out a bunch of these Mutas. Looks like the Mutas are dead. I don't think that's the end of the world for RagnaroK. They weren't being all that useful. But like, what is the plan from RagnaroK here? What he's doing is barely breaking the armies each time. But you know what? He's got a good amount of hatcheries on his side of the map as well.
Okay, he's come down now. And a couple more shots coming off, kind of chasing this back. I gotta say, this is not looking great for Maru here. You know, there is a reason why we don't cast this build that often. It's probably because it's not, in the long run, maybe the most optimal way to play. But as I say that, I guess the remaining Queens fall. And like our other 3 games, I look down and see that supply disparity and think, oh man, maybe this is, even with the small number of units here, it doesn't seem like the Zerg should be able to reinforce and defend the same way the Terran can continue to push and send more units rallied back out.
Maru's mining is just too good.
Yeah.
And, like, we see Lings and Banes coming in here, not having the best engages. Throws down those Biles. Okay, gets rid of the tank, but he's losing a lot of units each time. He needs to pick off these Thors more efficiently. This is a huge problem. He's just not able to mass up.
Yeah, he's dropping, you know, 10, 15 units for every Thor that's killed off. and he's going to come back in again. I think we're about to have a G5L champion, Artosis.
I think you're right about that, Tasteless. He comes up with his Corruptors, and as those get picked off, I think we're going to see that GG coming out of RagnaroK. Not much left over for him. Banshee Thor. What a composition here. Maru styling in this finals, just having an absolutely epic one. GG, and Maru has won his 5th GSL Code S.
History has been made. Maru has done what no other StarCraft 2 pro gamer could have done before him. He did it. He's now a 5-time winner, GSL Code S champion. And by the way, doing it in such a commanding performance.
Unreal. Like that 4-0, it felt one-sided as well. Like RagnaroK had great moments where he was fighting well, but Maru showed that he is a different caliber altogether. He is the most successful Terran ever, the most successful GSL player ever as well.
Yep. He has now hit that new echelon. And I don't know if we're ever going to have anybody who's going to do it. And who knows, Maru might take a 6th or even a 7th as GSL will continue on.
The 6SL and the GS7, I want to see it.
All right, I think we're going to be going to an interview. Oh, here we go.
Maru, in the history of GSL, 12 years of history, there has never been a player who's won 5 GSL Code S, and you are now the player to have made that feat. 8 GSL finals, Maru, and after 4 GSL titles, now you acquire 1 more title to be the G5L winner tonight. Wow. 12 years of history. The player to make the first G5 achievement, a living legend. And Maru, you showed an overwhelming performance in front of such numerous fans. How do you feel right now? Honestly, before coming here, I was really confident, but I got really nervous on stage. So today, you know, I had a bad feeling that I might not be able to hold the G5L trophy, but now that I'm the G5L winner, I'm really happy. I'm ecstatic right now. But despite that, Maru, the immaculate performance you've shown today, it was just perfect. You know, over the course of past 3.5 years, it's been a hard time for you, coming runner-up several times. And you know, just the word runner-up has just been really a disturbing word for you. But you overcome that jinx. So how do you, what thoughts are crossing your mind right now? You know, I thought last season was the best opportunity I would ever have, but then I went down to Hero, and you know, it's been a hard time for me. But for this season, I had a good feeling coming into the season. You know, one thing I'm curious about is you've started being a pro gamer since a very young age. And you've shown consistent performance ever since your debut. You hit your peak, and now you achieve the G5L. And from your perspective, it might have been a series of tough times. But how were you able to go through and survive through those hard times? I want to know what the motivation was for you. You know, for me, I believe I can just keep winning the G5L, GSL if I can maintain a good condition for my body. So you know, as long as I take care of myself, I think I can keep winning the GSL. I mean, amazing achievement is made tonight, Maru. There's only a few players that can come close to you in terms of accomplishments. And Maru, there have been so many people who's been behind you, supporting you over the years. So anything you want to say to them? I mean, I think G5L took too long for me. I want to thank everybody for giving me advices, giving me support. And there are so many players who helped me with practice. There's Sue, there's Solar, Ryung. And there's Björn as well. So I want to thank every one of them.
아유, 저기서 진짜 가족분들이 항상 오셔가지고
And your family's here. I'm rooting for you, Maru.
지난 결승
And they come every finals of GSL. And you know, I saw them in the last season as well. And your grandfather was clapping for you. He was applauding for you. You know, it was a very touching moment for us. And your friend, your families are always there to back you up, Maru. What a heartwarming moment for everyone. So, do you want to say anything to your parents, grandparents? You know, I'm not good at these kinds of things, but I want to thank my grandparents for always supporting me, for always having faith in me, for believing me. And you know, recently I've only come runner-up, so I was feeling sorry to them. But you know, I'm really happy to have won the trophy and make them proud. Once again, Maru is thanking his grandparents and his family for supporting him. And I too would like to thank you for supporting such a great player. And this amazing achievement is only the beginning, Maru. And from here, Maru, what kind of player do you want to remain as? Well, first of all, I just want to be. I just want the fans to think of me when they think of the Terran player in StarCraft 2. I will win the next season as well. 5th GSL wins, and now you're aiming for your 6th. And there's RagnaroK here as well, the runner-up for today. We would like to interview him. So RagnaroK, it was a phenomenal match today. But unfortunately for you, you came runner-up. But after 10 years of challenge, you have been able to make a career high for yourself in this season. I mean, there has almost never been a player who's won his GSL finals for the first time. But I think you gained a lot this season. So any closing thoughts for this season, RagnaroK? I mean, as I was practicing, I wasn't able to bring out the plays I wanted in practice. And maybe, you know, I'm in a slump after too many years of playing or something. But tonight, I really hoped that I wouldn't go down in a 4-0 fashion, but I did. But as I was playing, you know, I've been playing a lot of ZVTs, and I lost to him in terms of builds. And I think Maru was just perfect today. He played immaculately, so I'm a little sad. But nevertheless, you know, I always was skeptical whether I would be able to step on the final stage, but I did, and I'm really proud of it. The efforts, the perseverance, and the passion and the development you've shown over the years, RagnaroK, I'm sure the fans appreciate it. And now, as one of the best Zergs right now, you will be the light for Zerg and the hope for Zerg. And you brought your family here for the first time. So anything you want to say to your family and your friends and your fans? You know, honestly, I can't look at my family right now. Don't be sad, RagnaroK. There's always a future. There's always a next season. There's Super Tournament next season as well. I mean, next month as well. Keep your head up, RagnaroK. Keep your head up. You still have a long way to go. I mean, reality hits you hard, but look at the fans. The fans are supporting you, RagnaroK. They will support you in the future as well. Next time, I'll try to win. And that's all for the interview with Maru and RagnaroK. Alright, please stand by as we commence the award ceremony. Once again, please give a round of applause to these two fantastic players.
Man, what an emotional moment here. For both of these guys. I mean, Maru making history, but you cannot become a 5-time GSL champion without, at the same time chopping down somebody else's dreams. And so, Maru grows to a level that we've never seen any player really do here in GSL. At the same time, though, RagnaroK gets this far.
Yeah.
And the question is, can he come back? Will he come back? And if he does get to another finals, can he make it his finals that time?
Yeah. Very, very touching seeing how much it meant to him there at the end. He really worked hard and he achieved the finals, which is more than you can say for the vast majority of pros that ever play the game. So kudos to him, and I think we will see him back. He played a great season, just Maru was too good at the end.
Yeah, and he didn't play, I think, poorly in any one specific way. I think it was just like Maru with stats, if it was like an RPG, stats higher on every metric, just by a little bit, right? A little bit better at the macro, a little bit better with the micro.
He just was. He was overwhelming in all the ways.
Yeah. And so I think we're going to go to the award ceremony. I think RagnaroK's going to be going first here.
Yep.
So he'll be getting that second place giant check. And I got to say, man, really happy to see RagnaroK, of all people, making it here. I mean, it just goes to show you how competitive StarCraft 2 is.
Yeah. It's great to have a new name rise up as well. Only 2 Zergs have won in the last 5 years, and they've won a lot of them. RagnaroK wanted to add his name to that and was not able to do it tonight, but second place is pretty badass.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, honestly, he's just not one of the guys, even, throughout this whole year, I would have expected to be making it to the finals. Every time I saw the top 6, I'm like, well, he's probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more wrong. And that's what's so exciting about, a show like this is that it's a bit of a drama at the same time, right? Who's going to make it? And you see these players, their stories unfold. You get to know them so well. And props to RagnaroK. But again, I think the real story here today is the fact that Maru, in so many different eras of StarCraft 2, has done what basically nobody could do. I mean, we had the whole era of the new players, the Nesties, the MVPs, when the game was in its birth, in its infancy. But, as the game has really been mapped out, has been studied to such a great extent, you can see someone like Maru is the one guy out here over everybody else who has risen to the top, not only the most as getting to the finals, but now won the most finals out of any GSL player in the history of the game.
It's truly a feat, and even if GSL goes on for many, many, many more years, as we hope it will, can anyone else ever do this? Can anyone ever catch Maru? And part of the problem is that he's here for that.
All right, we're going to hear a quick word from the CEO. Andy, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jung, for coming here tonight. Anything you want to say to the fans? Hello, I'm Jung Chan-yong, the CEO of Africa TV. Hello, everyone. Every time I come to the GSL Finals venue, I can feel the passion from the fans and the applause. It's so, heartwarming. I'm really happy to have ended the season on a high note. I want to thank all the players and the fans who participated this season. And next month, we'll be having the Super Tournament, so please give love for the Super Tournament as well. Thank you all.
There's the love being given. Love is being given.
Yeah, who doesn't love 30,000 USD? My God.
Okay. Well, now we're going to give Maru his giant check. How many of these giant checks does he have, by the way?
It's actually, it's more than
you got to wonder if he has a small house that's been built of just giant checks.
And I tell you what, Tasteless. Yeah, Maru still jumping at that after so many championships. But he's going to be smiling all the way to the bank with how weak the won is compared to the dollar right now.
I think that's like 45 million won. Normally it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but the dollar is so strong that now Maru is a won billionaire.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely a good time to win as a Korean to win a tournament in USD. And now he gets the pin.
Dude, that shirt is going to be so heavy.
Look how many pins he's got. He's like one of these Banana Republic dictators right now. He's totally decorated.
He's the greatest general in the country, Tasteless.
Man, that's kind of crazy. And by the way, it's not like it ends with a G5L, okay? Like, you could win a 6th, you could win a 7th.
I mean, there's a good chance, honestly. He just looks better than everybody.
And by the way, he did this with a race that was not the most dominant race in the GSL, which was Zerg, which is something else to point out here as well. Oh, we need to get the flowers. Oh, all right. Oh, I guess it was his mom, I was told by production.
That's very sweet.
Now, what was I saying? Oh, no, I'm just, yeah, I mean, look at what Flash has done in StarCraft 1, that he's won such a disproportionately large number of tournaments. Well, Maru could start to do that here in the Star League circuit in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Oh, and now are we going to announce they said they're going to announce the G5O? We're not supposed to be talking about that the whole time?
No, we were. We were.
All right. Spoiler
I think they're
alert.
going to bring it out is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know how big this trophy is, by the way. I've never seen it in person.
It's bigger than Maru.
Is it?
No.
Okay.
Damn, look at all those championships.
Look at all those trophies he's made out with. That's crazy. Yeah, his house must just be full of giant cardboard checks and trophies.
Oh, dude, it's probably unreal. He has to have a whole new room that these checks pay for the trophies and the checks.
Here we go. 5 looks like S. Now do you understand? Oh, he almost didn't make it there. All right, well.
You got to make it mysterious, Faceless.
I didn't even know there was going to be a thing. I thought the trophy he would grab would be the G5L.
Well, what if RagnaroK wins?
Well,
That's pretty awkward.
After the 3-0, they just put that up there. RagnaroK's like, guys, come on.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Oh, my God. Can you imagine they swap it out after you're on match point? Oh.
Whoa, there it is.
G5L.
In all of its glory. Wow, it's even better than I thought it would be, Artosis.
Oh, my God. And that is something that I think is going to be a one-of-a-kind object on Earth ever.
Yeah.
Ever. How crazy is that, Tasteless? It is unlikely another of those will ever be made.
By the way, here are his photos. This is in the hallway as you enter the studio.
Yeah, we have so many photos of Maru in that hallway. If there's ever a crime, they're going to think that this whole studio is a stalker of him. You know, there's just his pictures all over the wall.
All right.
What a win,
What a show.
Damn, 5.
5 GSLs. He was in so many more than that. Okay, I was like, is Andy going to translate that? Then I looked over and he's gone already.
All right.
Well, man. Well, what a story. A very short story. Sorry about the shortness there.
I know.
It's,
pretty one-sided, unfortunately.
7-21.
I was really hoping we'd have some epic 6 or 7 game series, but it wasn't meant to be here tonight.
I thought worst case scenario of 4-1. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some ways a 4-0 is better than a 4-1. There's not that little bit of struggle at the end, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like you see the deer pick up its head one more time before the lion gets it. It's like, but Maru shows his domination, absolutely amazingly done, and yeah, that does it, and that does it for me as well. So
yeah, Artosis, we've done something very cool, man. We came out here 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We have done this show. We had no idea the show was going to go on as long as it did, but we did something so cool, man. It's been a treat and honor casting with you.
You as well.
Hopefully we can do something maybe online. We're going to try to bully the company to let us do that. We'll see if it works or not.
Yeah.
But what a run, man. Love you, dude. You're the best,
you
man.
Too, man. It's been the best job you can think of, really.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I've loved it, and I'll miss everyone in the studio. And
Artosis, we love you, man. You're great, dude. What a crazy journey, huh? And, yeah, man. We also plan to do more stuff down the road in the future, but this is going to be our last studio cast here at these desks like this. And I don't know how long they're going to keep us on camera now that you're tearing up and stuff, because they're going to close the show out. It's so funny. All right, and now the Caster Park's announcing that it's your last day. But Artosis, everybody loves you, and I love you too. And I want to try to end the show now, but I don't know that I can, because this wouldn't be a GSL if it wasn't us with an extra 2 minutes of time
Never
to
in
fill.
control of anything, Tasteless. The one thing I really won't miss.
All right, guys, we've got a video for you. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Super Tournament is in about a month, so I'll see you guys there. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought GSL would be a tournament I would actually play in, but now that I've played in it 3 times, I think I'm really happy for that. See you next GSL. 다음에 또 봐요.
Well, this year was good and bad. Like I had very ups and very low downs. Like Katowice runner-up is obviously good, but from the rest of the year I want more.
원 시즌이랑 투 시즌을 못 올라가가지고 좀 많이 아쉽긴 한데
내년에도 당연히 GSL은 할 거라 생각하고 있고
열심히 해서 꼭 우승할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
GSL이랑 저랑 워낙 인연이 깊은 그 대회여가지고
올해는 매우 아쉬웠지만 더 잘하는 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
이렇게 GSL이 오래 지나고 있는데도 매 시즌 이제 3시즌씩 할 수 있어서 매년 그것도 감사한 느낌이 듭니다.
오래오래 GSL 계속 함께 했으면 좋겠습니다.
제가 군대를 가야 되기 때문에 한 2년 뒤에 다시 열렸으면 좋겠어요.
GSL 시즌 1 시작할 때가 엊그제 같은데 벌써 이렇게 끝났다니까 믿기지가 않고 이번 연도는 좀 여러 사건, 사고가 많았는데
스스로 뭔가 좀 성장할 수 있는 그런 결과들이 보인 것 같아서
나와서 좋긴 한데 그래도 어떻게 보면 좀 애매한 느낌이어가지고
좀 아쉬움이 남긴 하지만 그래도 GSL 할 수 있었다는 것만으로도 정말 좋았던 것 같아요.
되돌아보면은 개인적으로는 좀 지금 만족하는 편인 것 같아요.
내년, 내후년에도 기회가 있기를 바라면서
저에게 GSL은 재미입니다. GSL 오면은 항상 재밌었거든요. 지든 이기든 정말 행복했기 때문에 재미고 행복이라고 생각합니다.
제가 GSL 10년 이상 해왔기 때문에 그러니까 없는 삶을 아직 생각하기도 싫고 생각하고 싶진 않고
GSL을 내년에도 꼭 했으면 좋겠습니다.
Hey GSL fans, Artosis here. As many of you, or most of you may have heard, I am leaving GSL after this season, the 3rd season of Code S in 2022. After casting since the very beginning, I am moving to Canada.
It was fun, man. We did something pretty crazy and pretty cool. And I think we kind of killed it harder than anybody expected. So I wish you the best of luck. I love you. You're like a brother to me. And I look forward to visiting you in Canada.
댄, 안녕하세요. 저 규리예요. GSL에 댄이 없는 모습은 상상이 안 돼서 더 아쉽고 섭섭한 것 같아요. 그래도 GSL이 아니더라도 계속 응원하고 지켜보겠습니다.
그동안 GSL 이렇게 사랑해주고 지켜줘서 댄에게 너무 감사하다는 말씀 드리겠습니다. 캐나다에서도 멋진 활동 기대하겠습니다. 댄 화이팅!
제가 GSL 처음 입문하게 되면서 그때부터 항상 같이 해왔었던 소중한 친구인데 항상 또 잘 되기를 응원할 테니까 다음에 또 좋은 곳에서 멋지게 볼 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다.
댄 너무 오랜 제가 미성년자 때부터 봐왔는데 너무나도 고생했고 앞으로도 사랑한다는 응원한다는 말을 꼭 전하고 싶습니다. 댄 파이팅!
I'm gonna watch GSL forever. Artosis, I love so much.
So I've been following GSL since 2012, since season 1. So I've been following Artosis and Tasteless for since then as well, and I grew up with them for 12 years now. So yeah, it's quite sad to see him go.
I've always enjoyed watching Artosis and Tasteless, so Tastosis. And yeah, it's really sad that Artosis is going to leave because I think for the English-speaking community that likes StarCraft and the GSL, Tastosis was a very big brand factor. So yeah, I mean, obviously for Artosis, I hope that he will have a great time, that he will find new adventures basically, and can move forward from here. And for Tasteless, I hope he finds a worthy partner to keep casting GSL with for a long time. So best of luck to Artosis,
Yeah, I've been a GSL fan for 10 years or so now, yeah.
I think I started watching maybe about 6-7 years ago. It's been a while.
Most important figure here in our GSL watching experience.
Yeah, dude, your commentary analysis of the game is something that it's always been awesome to hear and see, and it makes the game so much better to watch. And I'm really gonna miss you, man.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you, Artosis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sad about Dan leaving. I've been a huge StarCraft fan for the longest time. I met Dan at BlizzCon multiple times, both him and Tasteless, and I was here when Maru played Classic in the finals, and then when he also beat CEST in the finals. So like, I've been a huge GSL fan forever. So it's pretty sad because like they're the most iconic esports casters, and like they were the two people that really got me into StarCraft, and like they were the reason why I wanted to come to Korea and watch GSL. So you know, I'm really happy I'm here at for his final season, and you know, I hope I can get a picture with him later.
Okay, well, I mean, GSL has meant everything to me for the past 12 years, right? Like, I went from being someone who could barely afford to eat to working for GSL full-time, first under GOM TV and then later Afrika TV. And, you know, I've been here since the beginning. Tasteless and I have casted every single tournament together. It's been thousands and thousands of matches, and it's just... you know, honestly, it's like very complicated emotions. I love GSL. I'm going to miss GSL a lot. It's been my job. It's been literally the best job that you can come up with. Talking about your favorite video game for money, it's crazy. So I feel bad in a way leaving it, but you know, I'm hoping that it's going to continue on for a long time. It's in great hands here. You know, the whole GSL staff and everyone that's worked on it over the years, I have nothing but love for them and wish everyone the best.